Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Fessler, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Friday, April 24th, 2026. Holy cow. We're into the second quarter of the year already. What's going to be happening next? Disclosure's marching forward. Lou's going ahead and tell us what to expect on Disclosure, and I think it sounds like a pretty decent plan, except for all the national security stuff, folks. Well, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Let me go ahead and welcome in our audience so we can get this thing rolling. Who the heck do we have out there? Let's take a look. I'm behind schedule. Anne-Marie's out there along with Carl. We got Chan, Cindy, Conniving's out there. Dan Larev, good to see you. Delta Echo, Eliza Teal. We got Eric Groth. Barry Girl, good to see you. We got Fernando Suavo, all the way from wherever you're from. I think Brazil. No, someone else is from Brazil. I'm sorry. We got Fifth Infected here. Firefly, Geraldine Durazio, John Geldhill. Good to see you, Jericho. Just popped up. Kathy's there. Kim, King Bull, Noodles. We got Kelly Broughton, those piercing blue eyes. She always shows up. Just watch, folks. Who else we have out there? We got Noodles. My eyes need a bigger text to read. Leslie's out there about Louis EQ. We got Ma, Max, Mr. Drews. Good to see you, Metal Gaming. We got Michelle Mock, Necessary Dialogue. Niles guys out there along with Glit, Peggy and Steve all the way from Miami. We got Rainstorm Hunter, Rough Ready, Sam, Scooby Dooby Gooby, Shelly Montgomery, good to see you, Stabilize, and Stargazer. Stephen Forbes is out there along with Steve Hayes, Steve Mateo, the Super Unknown, TG. We got Teresa, Tom Whitmore, good to see you, my friend. Two Midgets on a Horse, Wasteland Wonder 86, Wheelanders out there. Who farted? Yeah, it was you 420, and Yankee 5858. How about that? I made it before the end. Amazing. How about that? Wait a minute. Wrong studio. Here we go. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, a lot of stuff to talk about today. It's nice to have stuff to talk about because so many days when we're going ahead and dealing with this, we're worried about the year 2026. Is this going to be like another 2025 of a drought? It looked like it, but things continue to pick up. Can't wait to see where any of this goes. Mike should be showing up here shortly. I talked to him earlier, but would love to get his insight on some stuff. So we've got a bunch of videos, bunch of stuff to go over here tonight. The first one we're going to be getting into, we got a couple of videos from Lou Elizondo. The first one's a little tame, him over at News Nation, talking to Chris Cuomo, bringing up stuff about the scientists and everything. And then we've got like a 25 minute deep dive on a bunch of stuff coming from Lou Elizondo, things that have been going on. Can't wait to see where we're all going to go on this one. Daryl, you ready?
I am ready, although something my TV just flashed off. What's still going on with the computer stuff? Anyway,
there you go.
I'm ready as I possibly can be.
The dog is locked and loaded. We're ready for some videos now.
Yep, we just go make me some national security, buddy.
Oh, there we go. Oh, God damn it. We have to be careful this time. I just had dinner, so it's not going to be like the last time we played national security, folks. Apparently, the last 10 minutes of the video, we all need to go and rewatch. That was from last Friday, I think.
It was a week ago, and I had been good all week because of that one day.
Yeah, same here. So it needs to, I guess, we need to rechristen this as Friday Night Disclosure. Because we got a good reason to play the game of national security. So let's get to Lou Elizondo's update over on Cuomo before we get to the good stuff. There's a lot of stuff happening. Holy cow. Let's get to this. Where is that at? Here's somewhere. Video full. All right, let's get to this one. Why is it acting this way? Hold on. OBS is being a bitch right now. And oh, great. Time
for that tap dance.
Let me go to, okay, it's fine over here. When I go to here, over here, I'm fine. But capturing my desktop is fucked. So let me just give me a second here, folks. I want to go into filters for this. turn off all the filters that might be going on. That's what it was. Retro effects was going on, I think. Yep, that took care of it. We got it. I fucked with something before the show. I found it. Here we go, folks. Sorry about the delay.
What are we getting wrong about this? Why should we keep looking at it?
Well, look, anytime you have experts in the national security arena either disappearing or in some cases dying prematurely and not necessarily a natural way, we have to look at this very closely. We can go back even to the 1940s during the Manhattan Project when we knew Russia was trying to target a lot of our scientists and try to learn some of our atomic secrets. This is nothing new. What is new, though, is that we have these scientists, these engineers, and senior military officials that are completely unaccounted for. Some of these individuals had very high security clearances, top secret SCI security clearances. Anytime that would happen in any other country, Russia, China, obviously would be a problem. This is happening here in the United States, and there are some very interesting common ties that at least some of these individuals have with one another, and that is the UAP topic, ironically enough.
Right. Really quick, I want to just throw this out there. There's been a lot of people going and saying, oh, my God, there's no ties to this. This is all just coincidental and stuff. You're going to be hearing some stuff from Lou where it's definitely not coincidental. And we can't throw all, baby out with the bathwater and just wash it all away because Ross says so. No, you got to take a look at this with a fine-tooth comb and figure out what is exactly going on, because there's a lot of, a lot of stuff happening, and it's not all coincidental, at least from my perspective. Let's get back to this. Here we go.
So, and you say this isn't you referring to culture or history. You're saying you talked to some of these people, and what happened doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. In fact, several of the people that you have on your list right there that you showed, I personally spoke with years ago and talked to myself, and it was about the UAP topic and their work in that arena. But there's also, you said something, and it's absolutely accurate. There's other individuals that are not on that list that I am personally aware of that might actually be associated with it. There is an individual that somebody Chris Mellon, who's been on your show before, was going to talk to about 2.5, 3 years ago. He was a few days away from meeting this individual. He was an engineer, apparently on the legacy U.S. government's legacy UAP effort, and mysteriously died right before the meeting. There's another individual whom I spoke with. He reached out to me. I'm going to protect his identity here for the sake of his family, but he did meet an untimely end. He was a senior special agent at the Department of Energy, and he worked specifically in the Inspector General's shop, the IG shop. He was the most senior special agent for the Department of Energy, and he was talking to me about coming out and talking to Congress about what he knows within DOE and the files, the UAP files that they're holding on to. He was very upset, and he felt like he was a whistleblower, so I was arranging for this individual to actually meet with certain members of Congress. His wife, who is a doctor for the Veterans Affairs, walks in one evening after work and finds him dead on the sofa. Now, this was during COVID, but from my understanding, there was never any positive if you will, connection between COVID and his death. He was relatively young. He wasn't an old guy. He wasn't particularly sick. He was healthy. He was athletic. So there are more individuals, and certainly I think the FBI should do exactly what they said they're going to do. You have folks like Anna Polina Luna that are working very hard behind the scenes, also trying to, you just had her on your show, that's trying to get some additional clarity into this. There was another individual that Dave Grush used to work with. His call sign was Quake, and he was going to go public and talk to Congress. And unfortunately, he was in Washington, D.C. at a hotel, and they found him dead as well. So I want to be careful not to scare people, say this is all about UFOs and the conspiracy that they're trying to keep people like us quiet. But I can tell you, as a matter of fact, I myself and other individuals whom I know, and Congress can tell you the same, have actually been threatened before. So it is about time that the government takes this very, very seriously, whether they're just missing, or they want to take an extended vacation, or they're dead. We need answers, and we need them now.
We got to know. Well, Lou, here's my pledge. I'm a call away. You learn anything, you want anything asked, you want it out there, you call me, it's done. Keep recovering. I'll see you soon. You look great.
I appreciate you, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Daryl, let me go ahead and bring you up on this one. Interesting to say the least. I mean, Lou, when he was talking about this, mentioned 2 more people. It sounded like he mentioned 4 more people.
Yeah, that's what I thought I heard.
So we're not at 12, potentially. We're at 16 now.
Yeah. It keeps getting more and more interesting, I guess. It's sad. It's sad, and it's just so weird. We're talking about people that are either dead or disappeared, and
right. But it's not just in our country. It's in the United States. It's in China. It's all over the place that this kind of stuff is going on. It just takes you back to that whole 3-body problem that was out there that talked about, there's aliens that are coming. By the time they get there, they're going ahead and killing off the scientists on Earth. So by the time they get there, Earth doesn't advance enough to go ahead and defeat them. Not that we're talking about time traveling aliens coming back to Earth and screwing with the timeline. I mean, we've been kind of talking about this for the longest time. What do you call it when they keep on finding things that have changed, like the Bernstein Bears from the Bernstein Bears, that kind of a thing where people have a memory of the Fruit of the Loom logo being one way and now it's another?
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect. Could that be part of the Mandela effect? We're seeing it.
Well, it definitely could be. I mean, that's a distinct possibility. I do have a question, though, with the slides up right now that shows those 11. Do you think that they're missing and that it's an NHI that is causing them to disappear, or is it someone inside the secret government that's causing them to disappear?
It could be the NHI, but the federal government, the UFO legacy program, is much more likely. You have to look under every rock and take a look and see what's there, right, Ed?
Well, and there's also adversarial possibility too. One of our foreign adversaries trying to kill off some of the knowledge base here.
Yeah.
There's also the possibility of the timeline we've been talking about, with Trump talking about UFOs and speeches, and the whole Obama thing, the whole Pete Hegseth released the UFO files. I mean, the craziest thing would be, and this has to be a possibility unless you're unwilling to believe it, that all these people are somehow, the missing ones are somehow connected to the coming of whatever's coming, and like they're the best people, so we need those best people. In the book of possibilities, it's a possibility.
Right now, the remote viewing community out there took a look at McCaslin and said, no, he's not dead. He went away willingly. And he's off in some kind of underground facility, basically passing on knowledge and training people. It's from what it sounded like, to go ahead and continue on some kind of a program that may have been shut down at one point. So there's so many possibilities of what it could be. Go ahead, Daryl.
I heard a CIA dude say that if they were going to try and confuse people as to what happened, exactly what was left behind is exactly what you'd want to do to confuse people to keep guessing.
Yeah. Keep them guessing. Throw out misinformation, throw out disinformation, throw stuff out there that is absolutely nonsense to get them off the trail.
Right.
Yeah. Crazy times, to say the least. Now let's get to Michael. Your hand is up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was thinking, it doesn't make sense that they would commit suicide because they left all their tracking devices and stuff they usually bring with them behind.
Yeah.
People that want to commit suicide usually don't care about that, or they want to be found. So that's an issue that raises all these questions about what's going on.
But then we have people who say, I'm not suicidal and I'm in good shape, who end up going ahead and ending it for that matter. So it's just, that's why when it was brought up before and say, hey, you saying you're not suicidal, that is a warning sign, because a lot of times it leads to the untimely death, unfortunately.
So the other thing I'm wondering about is the FBI pulling all of their phone records? Is the FBI looking at their phones? Because if one of the missing people factory reset their phone, but that doesn't delete the logs that the phone company has, nor the text.
No, it doesn't. But it depends on, how the records were going. Were they using an app like Signal? Were they sending data over the internet versus text messaging? And all that data is encrypted. So there's a lot of different ways the data can flow into and out of a person's phone. And man, talking about a person's phone, we got a crazy story about what happened to Matt Ford we'll be covering as well, about when he started covering the stuff about the OGA and stuff and who he ran into and what they said. Crazy times, my friend.
I see Mikey D has joined the chat.
Oh, he has.
Yes, sir.
Mike, how you doing, my friend?
Not bad. Yeah, no, interesting so far. Yeah, there's still a lot to cover, Thomas.
Oh, I know. Absolutely. That's why we've got the next video up, and I appreciate you popped in for this one. Let's pull this out. This video was put out by Lou Elizondo last night.
Yes.
Brightness and contrast. He's up on the main floor of his house out in Wyoming. He can't be in a car for too long because his stitches are splitting apart. He needs to go back to the hospital and pull it back together, and he can't fly. So he is really stuck in Wyoming right now.
He is, but he seems like he's making the best of it.
Oh gosh, yes, absolutely. So he's going to give us an update, kind of talk about some stuff with regards to the Orion mission and stuff, but then he's going to double down and give us an insight on what we could potentially expect from Disclosure. And as we talked about this, Mike, listen to this like this is Lou Elizondo pitching someone to go work in the federal government, right?
Oh, yeah. You're absolutely right about that.
Now, although he is Mr. National Security, I mean, the president would like that potentially, you'll hear some things you may not agree with, but we'll get there when we get there. So let's play this. Let's listen to this latest clip from Lou. It's 22 minutes. Let's have fun with it, folks. And yes, we will be going ahead and pausing during this because there's a lot of stuff we have to unpack. Here we go.
Well, hey, everybody. Just wanted to spend a few moments on a little update and maybe some observations that I've made over the last couple months. Unfortunately, because of my accident, sorry, you can hear my dogs walking in the background. I haven't really been able to get too much, as far as media engagement and engaging you all. I was focusing really on my health. But with that said, I am improving, getting better each day. Still suffering some minor complications, my detached retina and some other issues, mostly dizziness as it relates to the TBI. But with that said, I think I'd like to share a few observations with you. So since we've last really had a chance to speak with each other, the Artemis mission, the mission to the moon, which NASA executed along with several other program managers, including Redwire, a very good friend of mine, Mike Gold at Redwire, was one of the primary people behind the Artemis. Of course, a bunch of people were part of it, but he was really one of the big movers and shakers for the Artemis mission to be a reality. Look, it says a lot. People are like, well, it's been 60, 70 years. We should have been back to the moon before. Well, I don't disagree, but I think in defense of NASA, in the early to mid 60s, eventually until we landed on the moon in late 60s, you had a decade of hard research going on, just 24 hours a day, and really the mission, Saturn V missions to the moon, the Apollo missions, etc. Really it was a tremendous effort by everybody, and virtually no aspect of the U.S. government was untouched. And as a result of that, listen to this, as a result of that decade, over 6,200 products made it to the civilian world and everyday life that were initially designed for the Apollo mission. So there's a lot of benefit there for our society to really invest in really traveling into space and exploring the moon and exploring Mars, perhaps for natural resources, etc. And of course, then there's the scientific value, just learning what we don't yet understand. But keep in mind, back in the 60s, you had a full decade dedicated to people going and trying to get to the moon. That was their whole job. That was their whole focus, their whole mission in life. A lot of those folks, most of the folks, have either passed on or have retired. And so for NASA to just pick up the baton and say, okay, we're going to go to the moon next week, it's not so easy, right? This is part of what we call the continuity issue we have in the U.S. government. You have these pockets of expertise, they do really good stuff, and then all of a sudden either they retire or too much time lapses, and eventually they wind up dying. And so you lose that expertise. And so you have to rebuild that expertise pretty much from scratch. And that's not an easy job. That takes years, in fact, and then also learning from...
Or, in the case of Boeing, Mike, you can completely fail.
And put astronauts up without a working toilet. That's right, Thomas.
Oh, that actually was Lockheed Martin who did that one. That's the Orion capsule. I'm talking about their ill-fated Starliner.
That stranded the astronauts up on the space station for almost
Thanks
a year.
to President Biden refusing to allow Elon Musk to come and help. Yes, they were stranded up there and suffered horrible health effects otherwise.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. It was a disaster.
Yeah. Here we go.
Hopefully it'll be better now.
Definitely.
Lessons in the past, what worked, what didn't work, how can we make things better, how can we make things more efficient. I heard once that the total computing process that occurred on the Apollo mission was barely that of a fancy calculator, meaning the smartphones and smart devices we have today are infinitely more powerful than what we had access to back in the 60s, and yet we made it work. So the question is, well, why can't we do it now if we have all this better technology? Again, at the end of the day, it's not just up to technology, it's up to human beings to use that technology to figure out, the best way for us to go to space. And that's not easy. That's not easy.
Well, part of the issue is, Mike, they did it. They built the stuff, but they didn't put together documentation on how they went from point A to point B. Without that documentation being there, everyone coming into this is like, learning it new from the start again.
Well, that's a problem.
Yeah, that is a problem. Got rid of it. Thank you, Mike.
Yep.
Here we go.
Especially when you're putting live human beings, in a very hostile environment like space, because space is a total vacuum, and it's as a result it's extremely cold. It's you've got cosmic radiation coming in constantly, and then the solar radiation. So it's a hostile environment. Make no mistake about it. So we have to do our due diligence. I applaud NASA for this incredible achievement, sending people further beyond the moon and our orbit of our planet than ever before. So think about that, right? That's a big deal. One of my dogs is having a dream, so I don't know if you can hear him in the hallway there. So again, big heck yeah to NASA, big high five. Really proud moment for America, and also for those brave astronauts, men and women who were on that mission. A huge shout out to you. Yes, it's very risky. Just how risky? Well, I can't imagine strapping myself to a highly explosive missile, blasting me out of the atmosphere at 17,500 miles an hour, and try to circle around the moon and come back. So that's a tall order. So again, my hat's off to you. The second thing I'd like to talk about a little bit is this recent information that we have regarding scientists and engineers and military personnel who have suddenly and mysteriously vanished, disappeared, or died. I think the count is up to 11 now. Several of those individuals I know and knew personally. So it's no secret that I've said before, and some of my colleagues, that there is a target on our back. There are people who want us to be quiet. They want us to shut up, and they're willing to take extreme measures for that. And folks in Congress have been made aware of that too. So this is not like some sort of weird secret. It's kind of a poorly kept secret that there are some folks still in the government that don't want us talking and don't want having this conversation about disclosure. What you don't know yet is that there may be two additional individuals. One that Chris Mellon knew. I won't go into detail. That's his story to tell. But an engineer who apparently had worked on the Legacy program was going to come forward. And a few days before Chris Mellon was supposed to meet him, he met an untimely end.
Okay, I want to do this really quick. I want to interrupt this really quick and play a clip of Mellon talking about this instance, Mike. Since Lou's
it's
bringing
a good clip. Yeah, I agree.
I know
Let's
it's in
play
here
that.
somewhere. I just got to go through. Here we go. So this is, oh God, an old clip coming from the UFO World Congress. Oh, God, that's Greer's area. Let me just get a copy of this down and let me.
The U.S. recovered either an object that landed.
Okay, quiet. Here we go. Let's go ahead and get this up here. Open an external app. We got it. Let's play this clip coming in here. I'll change where we're going ahead back to the video full here. This is what Lou was just talking about the death of a whistleblower that was just about ready to come and talk with him here. So let's hear what he has to say.
One of the allegations is that the U.S. recovered either an object that landed and was left undamaged or something that was crashed, maybe more than one occasion, and that the material was provided to some of our aerospace companies that build our most advanced aircraft and so forth for them to try to research and understand. And therefore, that may be a source of knowledge and information, and they may actually possess some of these materials. So they wanted to include that in the scope of this inquiry and this new legislation.
Because there is the possibility that there may be reverse engineered technology in private companies.
Right. Doesn't mean that they succeeded in reverse engineering, but one of the stories is, one of the allegations is, and I was supposed to meet a fellow, for example, who supposedly was in one of these aerospace companies and supposedly had been directly involved in that activity. And we were about 2 weeks away from meeting when he died, when he had a heart attack. And, can't say, whether that was true or not, but that's one of the allegations. And it makes sense because if you're the government and say you recovered some debris and there were complex components and materials, right? You wanted to keep it secret, but have world-class technicians and scientists try to understand it. It would be natural that you would go to Lockheed Martin or Raytheon or Grumman or some of those companies that are used to routinely, they build the B-2 bomber, build all those things. So it'd be natural to go to them and ask for their help and, on a very close hold basis.
Yeah.
So there we go, Mike. From the words coming directly from Christopher Mellon, talking about the situation where, again, a person who was weeks away coming and letting the information out to go ahead and suddenly die of an unexpected heart attack.
Right. But I think Lou has additional information about this in the clip.
Yeah, I know. Let's get to it. I wanted to pull. Thing is, I just wanted to give the audience context to what he was talking about. Here we go. Let's play it.
I don't know the details surrounding his death, but he died. It might have been a heart attack, but I could be wrong. Then there's another individual, and I'm going to save his name to protect the privacy of his family, but he was a senior Department of Energy official. And this is probably in the 2023 time frame. I'd been talking to him for some time, and he was willing to come out and talk to Congress, particularly Marco Rubio, about what he experienced regarding UAP in the Department of Energy. He was a very, very senior special agent at the time. If you do enough research, you'll probably figure out who it is. But out of respect for his family, I don't want to say his name right now, but I will provide those names to law enforcement and Congress if asked.
There was a guy by the name of Mike Childress, I think Mike was his name. He was someone who worked in security for the DOE. He showed up on Lou Jimenez's the UCR, showed up in the chat, and when he started saying about the DOE, I was the only one, including everyone on the show, to realize where he was from. He actually came on the show and talked about something, but then he just vanished and he disappeared. I wonder if that could be him.
It could be. And Lou said this is around the 2023 time frame.
Yeah.
Now, 2023, if you remember, was when David Grush testified before Congress in July.
Right.
It could have spurred this individual coming forward.
Yeah.
Makes
Could have been.
sense.
But the guy was out there talking. The reason I remember him, because he has the last name of the guy who's on Ancient Aliens, the guy who always pronounces everything wrong. Childress. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, here we go.
This is an individual who was ready to come forward and provide some detailed conversation and information about DOE's efforts in the legacy program. His spouse is, I'll just say, a medical practitioner out here in this area, and she came home and she found her husband dead on the couch on the sofa. He allegedly had died from COVID complications, but speaking to his spouse, he seemed okay the morning that she left. He was just sitting there watching TV, I guess, and yeah, he's dead as well. So, you know, is it really COVID complications? It could be.
Now, remember when COVID was first hitting, Mike, it was hitting if you want to call it, the elderly care centers that were out there, and it was hitting people that had multiple comorbidities, like problems with diabetes or problems with their heart or problems with the thyroid or different parts of it. And this guy didn't have that stuff, obesity,
Right.
etc. He had none of that. So does he follow into the overall profile of people who would just suddenly die from COVID-19? No, he doesn't.
No. It's definitely strange circumstances for this.
Yeah, and this is probably, I think it's before we actually had the vaccines, because my mom, she got the vaccine and it frickin' killed her. And it was a horrible 6 months she went through. The last 6 months of her life were absolute hell. No, it wasn't fake. Let's move on. Here we go.
But also maybe not. And I think it's important to recognize that, you know, the media is covering 11 people now, but it might be more, a lot more. You know, I'll tell you, as far as the story regarding Amy Eskridge, I had the privilege of meeting her back in Huntsville, Alabama, back in around, I think it was maybe 2019 timeframe. 2018, 2019, and her father had been working on a project, apparently that involved anti-gravitics. She did provide me and a couple of my colleagues a briefing on it. I am not an anti-gravitics expert, so I really don't know what to say much about it, but whether it was legitimate or not, she did complain that she was on a quote-unquote target list. I don't know if it was the same target list that I myself and folks like Dave Grush were on, or if it was something else or someone else. But she did reveal that to us, and she did say that she was fearful for her life. Now, does that necessarily mean that something nefarious occurred? No. A lot of us have fears, and sometimes they're unsubstantiated, sometimes they're very substantiated. So I don't know. I think it's important, though, that we recognize that a lot of people are putting at stake a lot here to have conversations like this. I am pleased to see that Congress is becoming more and more engaged. People like Anna Paulina Luna and Representative Burchett and Burlison are still working very diligently behind the scenes on this topic, and for that I applaud them. The American people appreciate that very much. And lo and behold, some of these folks are now getting briefed on some pretty interesting stuff.
All right. We've got a clip of Tim Burchett talking about this. There were 2 UFO briefings this week, Mike, and SCIFs. But they're still getting the runaround, apparently.
Right. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what Burchett has to say.
We will play that in a bit. Here we go. Let's continue on.
I think with Representative Luna, her asking for those videos was it was a stroke of genius. I think it was brilliant, because those videos exist, and you're now holding people's feet in the Pentagon to the fire. Unfortunately, there's a lot of excuses. There's still a lot of folks that are trying to obfuscate and push back inside the Pentagon, the same ones that tried to erase me and pretend like I didn't exist. They're still there. Don't ask me why and how. Frankly, if I was Secretary Hegseth, I would fire them immediately.
Mike, did he just call for the firing of Susan Goff?
Potentially.
It sure as hell sounded like that to me.
Oh, yeah.
Susan, what do you think? Oh, no, go away.
Oh, no.
Yeah, interesting. First time we've heard him say that. I love it. Let's continue.
But that's not my job. I don't have any authority to do that. So, but that'd be my recommendation.
You don't have any authority, but you can have wishes. Like that one. Yeah. We all have the different stories that go along with those lines and different points when you have the opportunity to move forward or to take the programmer and tie him to his chair, put him, take his computer, douse it with gasoline with all of his printouts and light it in front of him and say, you're finished and so is your code. Got to have fun with it. Let's continue. Yeah. Oh, by the way, the coin 405. Holy cow. Thank you for the 500 Swedish kroners. Thank you very much, sir. Very awesome. Thank you. We appreciate your love and support. Also, Brendan England, thank you for the Australian $5. It all adds up, my friends. Here we go.
I think that we now have this topic at the very, very highest levels of our government. The fact that Trump, President Trump, has said openly and publicly that he's going to release the files and get to the bottom of this, I think is an excellent gesture of good faith. Now, of course, easier said than done, right? Because the devil's in the details. You have to.
Devil's in the details. Now, listen to how he explains the details here, folks. Look how he gets through the different instances and everything, talking like he's a leader in this and. Potentially, if there couldn't be anyone better to go ahead and lead this effort in the federal government, especially the executive branch, where he's worked for many years.
Over a huge volume of information and review it for classification and then release it. And yes, we still have to protect sources and methods. Yes, there's still aspects of some of these reports that should remain classified. I know that's not a popular position, but look, we don't want to give away our capabilities to foreign adversaries, and that's just the bottom line. So in other words, Mike, we can be talking about, in general, of the craft, but we can talk about what they've been doing here, what they've been operating with over military, over the homeland, around the world, and that's not going to break down any national security rules, is it?
It shouldn't.
Right.
They can properly redact all of the sensor information if they want to.
And Lewis said plenty of times when they had that giant triangular-shaped UFO that surfaced next to one of our aircraft carriers on the East Coast, and it was bigger than a football field, and all of a sudden it shot straight up out of the way. And even Lou and Mellon and anyone has said there's no reason why we need to keep this stuff classified. There's nothing with sources and methods or anything that would restrict this information from coming out. So there's a lot of good stuff that can come out. Now, if they took the technology and they brought it to a defense contractor and they created this stuff and we have this derivative technology now in our stack, they're not going to cover that, right?
Fuck no. That would remain secret.
Bingo. So we're going to get a bunch of stuff, but don't expect to get everything. But I would still say, Mike, getting something is better than getting nothing like of all the blank pages we've gotten for years and denials.
Right. For almost 80 years.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Let's play some more.
There's a way to do this. I think you need to have a review board that's going to, maybe every week meet in Washington, D.C. there at the National Archives and decide what should be released and how it should be released. And if there's classified information, how do we redact that information to get it out to the open public? I think at this point, the UAP topic is the worst kept secret in U.S. government history. Everybody knows it's real. And Hercules, stop, buddy. I'm trying to record here. Sorry, guys. Everybody wants their 15 minutes. Yes, and you too, Sergeant. This is Sergeant.
I got to pause here. I have to change the camera. Sorry, chat. You're going to get hidden for a little bit for a good reason because we'll have to shrink up the view a little bit, zoom it down a little bit because Lou's going to bring out the puppies and you're going to get to see them. Here we go. Let's play it. He's got his first doggy there.
And see, Sergeant. And that.
Hold on, and I've got to fix the color correction that I've got there. All right, here we go.
Heavy breathing in the back is Hercules, one of my larger male German Shepherds. And now here comes Cassie. You want to come out? These are the twins. I'll introduce you real quick to the twins. So you saw Sergeant, and then there's his little twin sister. Say hi, Cassie. This is Cassie. Yes, they look the same. Oh, and then there's Bounty. Bounty, come here, say hi. Here, do your there's little Bounty. Not so little, actually. Everybody wants their camera time, I guess. I have to do this. Thank you, but Nope, I have to do this. All right, go back down. All right. So, anyways, back to Congress. I think what Congress is doing should be lauded. Very, very proud of my government for doing this, and very appreciative for our members of Congress who are taking this topic seriously. I think they realize what's at stake. I think I submit to you that even our very democracy is at risk here. If the government does not decide to become open and transparent with the American people, it will continue to lose more and more credibility, and the faith and confidence of the American people will continue to diminish. So I think it's really important that the government be truthful. And even if it doesn't know certain things, that's okay. Say that. Say, look, we know it. There's things that we know. There's things we don't know, and we're trying to figure that out. I think if we have a group of individuals in D.C. that can look at information on a regular and routine basis and maybe inform Congress and say, look, there's 25% of these documents are classified, and of those 25%, 10% really should remain classified, and then provide that to Congress. So at least Congress knows, and then Congress can inform you, the people, of where we are with this. I'd put up a quarterly report card. If I was in charge, I would of this transparency issue. If I was in
There we go. If I was in charge of this transparency issue. Even says it.
Government, I would every quarter come out with a report card to the American people. Okay, these are how many documents we've reviewed. These are how many got declassified. These are how many that got released. These are how many we still have to do. Here's the challenges. Here's the organizations that we are talking to. These are the individuals that are involved. Just good governance, right? Best government practices. Just be open and transparent with the American people. Be honest. If you don't have an answer, you don't have an answer. If you don't, if your progress isn't as much as you'd like it to be, that's fine. I think the American people are.
Mike, it comes down to the same way you're supposed to deal with a federal agent. You tell them the truth, and if you don't have an answer, you can't answer it. You tell them that, right?
That's correct. That's the right answer.
Exactly. Be honest and open. Don't be the cover-up queen like we've had for so long.
Right. But if Lou ever got the UAP czar position, like he was intended, I have a feeling that Susan Goff's career might be in jeopardy at that point.
Wah, wah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be so horrible. I mean, wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Arrow would also probably be on the chopping block as well.
Yeah, I mean, Burchett's already trying that, my friend. So, yes. By the way, if you're having a good time, folks, we have 550 people watching the show right now. We got a big upswing. If you're new to the show, do us a favor. Give us a subscription. We've been stuck at 17,500 viewers for so long. Would love to hit 18,000, and only you can get us there. And by the way, if you're having a good time, give us a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Here we go.
I think as long as you tell them that, and you tell them what's really going on and say, look, we're struggling with, aspects of A, B, and C for the declassification process, the American people are pretty patient. They understand that. What they don't tolerate is obfuscation and misdirection. And so that's, I think, where we need to be. It's crazy, right? I get on a video, and now all of a sudden all the dogs are just making all sorts of noise and drinking and walking and panting.
Mike, I used to have that with Cupcake when she was around. Whenever I get on a stream, she'd get around, but you know whose voice she did not like? Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio. Anytime he would be talking, man, she'd start whining and making noises and everything, and it was only when I was on Dave's show. He could tell you about that. So dogs, they know, they understand what the hell we're doing. They know our way. And, when things are going on and he's looking off to the side, I love it looking at the dogs because they're looking back at him. The humanity of him bringing out his dogs into this is just phenomenal.
It is. They're part of the family.
Here we go.
Jumping around. So anyways, that's that. As far as next steps, I am working still with some individuals internationally on our international engagement. What do we do from here? How do we move forward?
International engagement, Mike. I wonder if that could deal with any countries in the Middle East. You never know what may come out by the Gulf of Oman.
Yeah, I also heard potentially it might have something to do with the Vatican.
Yeah, he's going to bring the Vatican up shortly, but he's talking about countries. And he will talk about the Vatican shortly, but this is other stuff.
Oh, well, you and I are well aware of that.
Yeah, but that's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
Hey, someone's got to drop the breadcrumbs, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right about that. Yep.
There we go.
How do we get other organizations and governments and people involved, right? There's a lot of countries out there that have their own UAP information. I think it'd be very helpful for us here in the United States if we could share that information, right? Have them share it with us. Let us know. We're looking at the same things, and are the reports similar from, let's say, 1953 as opposed to 2003 as opposed to 2023? There's a lot of value there. I will tell you that there are elements within the religious apparatus. I don't want to be specific right now, but it'll probably become evident that are actually taking this topic very seriously. Religions that you think would normally be opposed to the idea of non-human intelligence and UAP, in some cases are actually embracing it. And I think partially could be from maybe some historical records that they have that's kind of indicated the same thing and whatnot. So
I think this is where he's referring to the 1938 recovery we had out of Italy with the bell-shaped UFO that the Pope reached out to the United States for us to come and get it before the Nazis got it, right?
Yeah, that was Magenta, Italy in 1933,
Yeah.
Thomas. Yep. You're right.
Yeah.
And that came directly through the Vatican.
Yep. I think that's where he's going, but he's just, talking around it like Louis usually does.
Yeah, he's leaving the breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
He's very good at that.
Enough breadcrumbs, you can actually make some really good pork chops.
You could. It's a key ingredient.
Pork cutlets dipped in egg, and you got the nice breadcrumbs on top. Dip it a couple times and fry it.
Yeah.
Some good gravy.
My favorite.
Oh, God, yeah. It's been so long.
What else? Boy, a lot. I'm really looking forward to engaging every one of you here in the very near future. Apologies for having to reschedule the East Coast tour. I just, unfortunately, if you can't fly and I can't drive, then, I need one of you to invent a teleportation machine, right? And it better be a big one because there's a lot of me to teleport. So until one of those exists, I have to listen to my doctor's advice and continue to get better. You'll notice again still some facial paralysis on this side, my detached retina in my ear, and I'm still having a lot of dizziness associated with the TBI. There is apparently something I can do about it, but I have to go to ears, nose, and throat doctor, and they have to kind of put me on a table and spin me around in different directions. And unfortunately, my chest can't take that. I can't lay on my chest yet. I am beginning to slow.
So he can't lay on his chest, Mike. He has to lay on his back.
Right. He's getting to the point where he's able to go on his side.
But he can't drive in the car because for too long, because his staples and his stuff is ripping apart. And then he can't go on a plane because of his eye. He's just really in a bad situation. Hopefully, he's canceled his East Coast portion of the tour, starting up with Texas. Let's hope he's going to be able to get down to Texas, start it up.
Yeah. He also has an issue with his equilibrium to the point where there's damage to his inner ear, which is why he needs an ear, nose, and throat specialist to address it. But they can't until his body is able to do the rest of the healing first.
Correct.
Right. So, he's touch and go right now. It's going to take time.
Hey, at least he's out there giving us an insight. That's, that's very, very honorable. I mean, what's happened, though, is since he's gotten sick and he has all this time, he's realized he's got a YouTube channel. He can record videos and bring out the information himself directly to everybody.
And he's starting to do that. So it's long overdue.
Yeah.
Nice to hear from him directly for a change.
Nothing like a good phone call. Let's continue on. Here we go.
But surely lay more on my side, which is helpful to me because I tend to be a side and a belly sleeper. But I'm not there yet. I still have to be careful walking downstairs. If I get very dizzy, almost like I feel like I want to faint. And again, that's part of the TBI. So it's going to take time. It's going to be a little bit of patience. But I am getting better consistently. If you were to ask me, I think it's almost a miracle that I survived this. Not just the medical professional's opinion on this, but looking at that accident and what actually happened, I shouldn't be here. And then on top of that, the miracle that my spouse actually rolling up and finding me laying in a ditch, and then having the wisdom to, force me to go to the emergency room. I didn't want to go. I said, no, I'll be all fine. I'll be okay. I wasn't. I was bleeding out, and had my wife not insisted I go to the emergency room, I'd be dead right now. Now, as far as one last thing, I want to squash any conspiracies. No, I do not think that someone tried to kill me that night. It was 2 deer in the road, and I swerved to avoid them. And that was...
So it wasn't a holograph of deer. It wasn't stuffed deer that were put out there by someone.
No.
It was actually 2 deer that were actually a mother and a dawn and a fawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it funny, though, how you heard that he didn't want to go to the emergency room?
That's just that's where you should say, don't be a Lou. But we saw what he looked like, and I don't think Jen was going to go ahead and actually back down from that one, because she saw what the hell he looked like. He didn't, so yeah.
Oh, fuck no. That's like some of the conversations you and I have had recently.
Put a helmet on that soldier. I swear Lou needs to bring out a line of condoms now.
Oh, that would be a good one.
Yeah, put a helmet on that soldier. Yeah.
Not bad.
There you go.
And the fact, as you can see from up here, this is from not wearing a helmet. The entire TBI, the ribs are a different story, but the entire TBI was because I chose not to wear a helmet. Here in Wyoming, you don't have to wear a helmet. I figured to myself I was only going to go 3 miles, and I wasn't going very fast. And look what happened to me. So again, please let this be a good lesson to you all. Wear a helmet if you're going to ride a motorcycle. Do I plan to continue riding motorcycles? Yeah, I do. When you fall off the horse, you got to get back on it again. But I'm going to be much more cautious. I am not invincible. And I think that's something that a lot of us, especially maybe men my age who've been in the military and whatnot, you kind of feel you might be a little bit indestructible based upon what we've been through in life. But I'll tell you, let's not forget that Mother Nature has a vote. In fact, Mother Nature can veto anything, any ideas we may have, and she did that fateful night. So, with that said, I want to tell everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful day. God bless you all. Thank you for the wonderful outpouring of messages and the care packages. I read all of your messages, even on YouTube. When you all comment back and say, "Hey, Lou, I hope you get better," I actually read them, and I sincerely appreciate it all. So, that good energy, that means you, Shelley, as some might say. As for the negative energy, I don't waste my time with it, and neither should you. There's going to be bad people out there all the time or petty people or jealous people. You got to let it go. Unfortunately, this is the world we live in when it comes to social media. Everybody has a voice, and when everybody has a voice, anybody has a voice, right? And so you're going to naturally get voices out there well, there's a reason why they call them trolls, and I'll just leave it as that. So I wouldn't waste an ounce of your energy on that. Let's continue moving forward. We've done great things together, all of you and myself and my colleagues. It's been now almost, it's about 8 years since the 2017, and I left the Pentagon. And look how far we've come. Oh, God. Right? Yeah. Don't let anybody take that away from you. You now have Congress paying attention. You now have the President of the United States actually making statements about this topic. You have other countries, right? And you have military pilots, and you have now investigations with the FBI that are part of this, and internal reviews. And this is exactly where we need to be. And the system is working. Yes, there's hiccups, and yes, there's frustration, and yes, there's obfuscation, but the system is doing what it needs to do. It is actually asking the right questions with the right people, and answers are finally being provided to at least to certain members in Congress. So I'm very grateful. Remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. I understand everybody and appreciate everybody's impatience about this, but this is a big tangled ball of yarn, and it has to be untangled very carefully. So we're getting there. Good news is we're getting there, and I think with that I will shut up for now and let you all have your day back. But thank you. I'm going to continue putting updates on my health condition as I continue to improve. Only so if anybody else is suffering from the same thing and like, man, is this normal? Should I be having cloudy vision, or should I have memory issues? I want to be able to provide a kind of a weekly log of my journey back to full recovery from this accident. And maybe it's helpful, and if it's not, then I don't know, flip the channel and watch something else that's more interesting. But I want to make sure that, I wish I had a video like this that I could have looked at as I was going through this. A lot of things that doctors don't tell you, they just have to kind of experience, and then you have to, you kind of get surprised and even worried. You're like, oh, crap, is this normal? So there you have it. Folks, I appreciate everything you do. Thank you truly from the bottom of my heart. And I really look forward to seeing you all and shaking your hand and giving you a hug and just thanking you in person for all that you do. So take care, folks, and God bless. And the dogs say goodbye.
Great message from Lou, Mike.
Amazing.
Yeah.
If you cut through all of the disinformation about him, and all the things that he's been involved in, and you listen to his words as a human being, he's a good man. And,
oh God, yeah.
An amazing person, and it's nice to hear his brutal honesty about what it is that he's going through and dealing with. So the average person, I don't think, would be as open and honest about his trials and tribulations of everything that he made through mistakes that he admitted that he made by not wearing a helmet. So, it's refreshing to hear that and him come out publicly with it. Now, you and I know privately who he is, and that's what he's all about. But to make the public be aware of his own words on this and how he represents himself, I think it's refreshing.
Well, Mike, I guess we could say the tagline is, put a helmet on that soldier. Your decision has lifelong consequences.
It could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So breaking news on this one. This just hit the press. We have Merrick von Rennenkampf, who's actually going to be out here in Seattle with Lou Elizondo on June 8th. Can't wait to see when he's going to get out here. He's a former State Department and Pentagon official. Explains his doubts about a through line linking a list of at least a dozen U.S. researchers who have died or gone missing in recent years. Still, he says at least some of the cases deserve scrutiny. So he's saying, Mike, a lot of these deaths that are out there, they're just deaths, but some of them, we need to take a deep look at this.
Well, you and I have talked privately about this since it all began.
Yeah.
And you and I are well aware that of the cases that have been listed so far, a certain percentage of them are unrelated. But that doesn't mean that if the FBI is investigating this, that some of them also at the same time can be related.
Right.
So it needs to be pursued.
Not all of them, but there's some where there's a connection that leads it all together. But as a lot of researchers have been finding out, it's not just the United States, it's China and other countries where a lot of these top scientists who are becoming disappeared or just dying of unfortunate circumstances. But on that note, let's go ahead and get to this video and let's play it. Here we go, folks.
Conspiracy theory, or is this some astonishing coincidence that all these people, some of whom worked together, some of whom had overlapping or shared common expertise, all just happened to die or disappear within the same year?
Elizabeth, thanks so much for having me. It's nice to be back with you. And I think at a high level, I think we are dealing with coincidences. The cleared population, the population of individuals associated with these defense contractors and these federal research centers is massive. We're talking about millions of people. Unfortunately, people die. There are mysterious incidents or unexplained incidents, and that's just what happens with these large organizations. So no, I don't see a through line. I don't see a particular connection or a broad conspiracy theory here or conspiracy, but I do want to point out that yes, General McCaslin's disappearance is very odd, especially considering his connections to the UFO lore and the history. But I also want to briefly highlight the death of a former Air Force intelligence officer by the name of Matthew Sullivan.
This is a big one, folks.
Eric Burlison recently stated that his office had reached out to Sullivan and that he died within a few weeks of speaking or being prepared to speak to Congress. And
Mike, this aligns with the same security individual who worked for the DOE, who had an unfortunate, undetermined heart attack.
Right. You're right. There seems to be...
There's a pattern here.
Yes, definitely a pattern, Thomas. There is.
And the old saying, patterns tell stories, is always what you look for.
They do. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Depends on the circumstances.
There we go.
Let's see where the FBI goes with this. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, God, I can't wait to see where this goes.
And I cannot underscore this
enough.
And
I've got the story about the FBI agent coming from Chris Cuomo as soon as we're done with this clip, Mike.
Burlison, the congressman, said that the inspector general, presumably of the intelligence community, found the circumstances of his death credible and urgent and referred the matter to the FBI. And I'll add one more bit. We now know that Sullivan was one of the witnesses that UAP whistleblower David Grush, one of the key witnesses in Grush's investigation, which he alleges uncovered a decades-long UAP retrieval and reverse engineering effort. So I would really focus on McCasland and Sullivan in those particular cases.
Wow, Mike, that's a deep one.
It is. Very interesting.
But it just shows you there are connections. You know, I need to see someone who's working on this, like Kyle or whatever, come up with a good mortarboard to show all the connections. We've seen some of them, but some of them go a little bit overboard. But seeing the stuff where it really aligns, that's where the magic comes in to help understand what's happening. Speaking of Kyle, your hand's up, my friend.
Hey, buddy. I sent you one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Yeah, send your email. I sent it this morning.
All right, let me go ahead and check that out, and I will get that up after this next story, and we'll talk about it. Perfect. All right, we've got this one finished off. Let's get to the next one, Mike, where we've got an FBI agent who's talking with Cuomo from last night. I believe this is last night. Elizondo was on there as well. So let's play this one clip and see where it goes. Interesting story. Interesting as well.
Yep. Again, another one. You know, it's tough with these stories. It's tough being in a climate where you don't know what to trust, okay? I don't like seeing the correlation among these missing scientists. It's scary. It's weird. And now we have texts from one of them. Before she was found to have committed suicide, she says in text to somebody that we can't say are fake texts. They seem real. The guy's a former intelligence official for the Brits. Amy Eskridge is her name. She says, if you see that I've been committed suicide, don't believe it. If you see that I shot someone, don't believe it. That's really weird. What to believe? Next. All right. This week, the FBI announced that it is now investigating a string of mysterious deaths and disappearances involving top U.S. scientists over the past several years. Some had reported ties to the UAP community, the UFO community. Today, and now look, I've covered this with Ross Coulthart, and I've been doing a lot of reporting on it where I've been reading into it, and I haven't really attacked it because I think it's more correlation and interesting for social media, but not really true causation. But today, we got thrown a curveball. Amy Eskridge is one of those who is dead. We know what happened to her. She's dead. We don't know how she died. It was ruled a suicide, but this happened back in 2022. She'd been working on anti-gravity technology, allegedly sent alarming text messages to a friend just a month before her suicide. These were the kinds of messages. If you see any report that I killed myself, I didn't. If you see any report that I overdosed, I didn't. She continued, if you see any reports that I shot anybody, I didn't. Now, you could say, okay, maybe she was struggling. These are pictures of her hands. She said that she had been hit with some kind of weird energy ray device, and her hands were red. Her window had weird marks on it. News Nation has been digging on this. We talked to the person who says that he got sent these texts, and he is a former intelligence official. But her father and her family says sometimes scientists just die. They kill themselves like our daughter did. They don't believe it was suspicious. Given her claims of harassment and those texts, ask you why the FBI is looking into it. Let's ask former FBI special agent in charge of the Tucson office, Andrew Black. This is a weird one. And now, look, some of them, I get why someone with your sophistication will say this is tantalizing journalistically, but not forensically, not investigatively. But this is weird, these messages right before it happens.
Yeah, Chris, you're right. This is something you'd expect to see in a Hollywood movie or in a novel. You know, and take into account the type of work that Amy was involved in, anti-gravity technology. The stakes are very high as to national security purposes on what she was working on. The fact that her parents may feel that she did commit suicide doesn't mean the other things she reported weren't true. And maybe these things contributed to her taking her life. We don't know. And that's why it's great the FBI is investigating this at this point. But she was very specific that she felt she was being followed, stalked. She had evidence that someone had broken into her residence and gone through her personal belongings. And she told friends that she feared for her life. Oddly is this allegation that she was a victim of directed weapon energy. That's a rare thing, but also just adds more intrigue to this story.
How capable are the investigators to tell the difference between a suicide and being shot?
You know, there are forensic techniques that the coroner's office can draw on, the FBI can draw on. The FBI is partnered here with the Department of Energy, NASA, and the Department of Defense. They're going to sift through all this. They're going to talk to people who were closest to Amy on this to kind of form a picture of her mental state and what she was going through. They'll probably can do some analysis of the photo you're showing right now of the burns on her hands. That is an indication of a microwave pulse. It could be. But they are capable of getting a lot of information post-mortem through an autopsy.
Andrew Black, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. This is a weird one. You know, sometimes when you're covering these kinds of investigations, you like to be a half a step ahead and suggestive of a narrative that will make more sense as we learn more. I can't do that here. I don't know what to make of this. Andrew, be well. We'll keep talking about
Thanks,
it.
Chris.
Yeah, Mike, I just feel bad for the family if they're talking about re-exhuming the body of Amy Eskridge to look for evidence and stuff. They've already been through hell and back.
They had been, and by the statements made by this FBI agent, Andrew Black, he's just established, at least to me, that he's a schmuck. And I wouldn't take anything that he says seriously. It's coming from a point of speculation, not facts. And they seem to be leaning in the direction of completely ignoring the facts as they have been established and her entire family's wishes, which I think is just fucked up.
Yeah.
So I am definitely dead set against the direction that they're going with this, especially with her. And anybody that would take, I don't know, 5 minutes to look into her background, her family history, and everything.
Her mental history, the issues she was dealing with, the drugs she was on, what she was battling, etc.
Yeah, this case would be open and shut.
Yeah.
Right. So anybody that's going in a different direction than that is looking for clicks and attention. And it just turns my fucking stomach
I know.
when I hear that.
Well, we're covering it just to cover it. I hate to go ahead and hit you with this, Mike, but we're just showing what's out there in the public sphere. But what the best part about it is we're showing up, but we're giving the audience how to understand and how to ingest this kind of stuff.
And they should have enough common sense to look at the facts as they are.
Yeah.
And sometimes,
but the facts aren't out there for the average person. That's why we provide a great service to the community to try and bring those facts to light.
Because we are usually well aware of the circumstances, both publicly and privately.
Yeah.
So we bring that information out so that the public can be well informed on what's going on.
Yeah. Now, in our next clip, this one, again, just hit on X. I've been saying, screw the media plan for tonight. I'm trying to play the latest stuff that has just come to light during the show that's going on. This came just from Elizabeth Vargas Reports over on News Nation. She's got Representative Tim Burchett here talking and saying that, you know, he demands answers regarding the missing scientist mystery, and the American people have a right to know. So let's see what Tim, I love Tim. He is such an honest, just average kind of a guy. You know, he's like the average peanut farmer from Georgia who could become president, except he's Someone who's got donkeys, and he's a farmer from Tennessee.
Right. So Tim, at least, is very down to earth.
Yes.
And I'd be interested in his take on it.
All right, so let's get into this. Here we go, folks. Let's have some fun. Hold on. I turn the audio up. Now let's have some fun.
I want to ask you about something you've been front and center on, which is releasing and being the government being more transparent around the issue of these UFO files and these UFO videos. President Trump, as you know, is vowing to release more than 45 videos and UFO files. And you have said, quote, you would be up all night if the things that I've seen are released. What are you talking about?
Well, again, I'm in a SCIF when I view these things, and we're not allowed to talk about it. But I think America deserves.
And for the record, folks, Timmy's been in 2 SCIFs this week to go ahead and talk about this stuff. So the dam is starting to leak, but it's just not hitting the general public yet. Here we go.
No, there's we've had testimony. You've seen 11 people have either died or disappeared that have been close to this issue, whether that's a coincidence or not. I mean, if there was 11 members of the media like yourself disappeared, we have 11 barbers or 11 rabbis. I don't care. I think America would demand some answers. And for some reason, this is people are kind of hands off with this thing. But I think that I'll just say this. It's not about little green men or flying saucers. It's about what we're spending tens of millions, possibly billions of your dollars on. And we deserve transparency. When I sit in a meeting and some guy with a man bun tells me that the president is on a need-to-know basis,
Mike, how many times are we going to hear about that fucking man bun?
Oh, my God. It's like a
he doesn't like the man bun guy from the DOD. But he's still there and still dealing with him years later.
I know. But listen, Timbo is who he is. He's not going to change.
Oh, hell no.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's see what he has to say.
I just had to bring that up.
He says we've overstepped our bounds.
Always be dubious of the men in man buns. But we had Congressman Burlison on the show last night. He said that these videos show a lot of very mysterious stuff, as he put
National
it,
security,
but that he has seen no evidence so far of anything that is definitively extraterrestrial life. Would you agree with that assessment?
Possibly. I guess it depends on what you define it. I haven't been in some of the meetings that Burlison's been, and he hasn't been in some that I've been in. But when you have some of the best pilots in the world are military trained pilots who risk literally retribution. When they come off the flight line, I'm not sure if that's the terminology, but when they come off the flight line and they've seen something, and they get an 8-hour interrogation and get a blemish on their record for saying stuff, but yet they're still coming forward with information. And these people are seeing something out there. I've seen pictures and video of things that defy any reason that we have. And everybody says, well, it's our stuff. It's the Russians. It's the Chinese. It's the Chinese, ma'am, they would own us. If it was the Russians, they wouldn't be bogged down in Ukraine. If it was ours, we would never risk our military fighting men and women and $500 million aircraft out with these things and that they're spotting. These things can hover for hours on end, and then they can just shoot straight up. They can do angles. Had an admiral sitting right here in my office telling me about a craft they saw almost big as a football field on sonar they didn't see, it was on sonar. It was traveling over 200 miles an hour underwater. We don't have anything with that capability or that size. So at some point, look, I don't know. Just put it out there and let people decide. I have my own theories about what it is, but I would hope that America could I think they can handle it. I just don't think that our government and their arrogance is it's power. It's about control, and it's arrogance. It's everything that runs Washington, D.C., ma'am. And we deserve to know the truth.
Really quick, Mike, I want to bring this up. We've heard this many times. Tim is waffling. We can handle it. We can handle it. We can't handle it. We can handle it. It sounds like he just is on that board where, I think he wants to say we can handle it, but some of the times when he gets the details, could it be so shocking that's when he says we can't handle it?
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
That actually makes a lot of sense. And Lou even talked about that at one point.
Yeah.
About how ontological shock is something you couldn't avoid when the truth starts to come out. Yeah, I
exactly.
agree.
But Lou's talking about now, it's not catastrophic, not the drip. It's talking about the plan of what we're going to do now that we're into it. And it sounds pretty good.
It does.
Sounds better than where we've been for 80 years. We'd liked it better, but you know what? Anything is an improvement at this point.
Well, Lou pointed out that we've come a long way since he first retired back in 2017.
Right.
And that New York Times article came out with 3 videos. Now we have the President of the United States talking about it, the Secretary of War, Congress. So, yeah, we really have covered a lot of ground from then to now.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's play the rest of this one. And then after this, another clip just hit. Jeremy Corbell on Elizabeth Vargas talking about disclosure and what's going on in D.C. So we got a lot of stuff to cover. We haven't even hit any of the videos that I've cached for tonight's show, but let's have fun with it.
Oh, absolutely. It's Friday. Let's keep going.
Absolutely. We may go a little bit late today, folks, but welcome to Friday Night Disclosure. By the way, if I haven't said it, for any of my friends out there playing along, national security. Here we go.
All right. Congressman Tim Burchett, always great to talk to you. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Now let's move on to Jeremy Corbell on Elizabeth Vargas. Let's have some fun with it, folks. Here we go. National security.
Jeremy Corbell himself. Hey, Jeremy. Were they investigating UFOs 35 years ago? What are these anomalous aerial phenomenon they were looking into?
Yeah, so they would call them atmospheric anomalies when they were keeping it hush-hush. We didn't have the cool term UAP to try to, allow people to investigate this. Absolutely. In this film, what you see, this kid, Michael Lazowski, he started filming my daily life. He saw what was happening when George Knapp and I were trying to get out the news about UAP. We're just trying to report the news. So this is a common average day for me. I'm a clearinghouse for sensitive UAP material. So these documents came in. It was from the head of cybersecurity at Los Alamos National Laboratory, and it is absolute proof that the U.S. had maintained a secret, decades-long program to uncover the intent and origin of those piloting UAPs.
Mike?
Yeah?
This is big.
Yeah.
This is really big.
I want to see the proof if he has.
I know. Well, that's what his next movie is coming out, what it's all about. And he's the producer and director probably, and the star. And that's what he's giving us the insight into. But this is a good one. Let's play this. Here we go. I'm excited. Okay. Temper your expectations, everybody. But you know what? National security. Here we go.
Designates a classified meeting. Who's going to be involved? From the CIA to NSA. You can see it right there.
But what exactly were they looking into? And does anything in these documents confirm what, for example, David Grush has been telling us now for a couple of years, which is that there was a secret program actually studying the remains of alien spacecraft or alien beings themselves?
Right. So you don't get the whole enchilada in these documents, but what you do get is clear evidence that at Los Alamos National Laboratory, at a classified level, they were investigating UFOs, UAP, the origins of them. So, look, every piece of evidence. Was that ever in dispute?
Was that ever in dispute?
Well, I mean, for decades, the U.S. government said nothing to see here, move on. We don't study UAP. They said that after Project Blue Book, that there was nothing to see here. They don't study them. We now know that all of that is hogwash. But these documents prove it. They could prove it in the court of law.
Yeah. You've said this documentary is all about freedom of speech and the First Amendment. We just heard President Trump say, I'm going to release the UFO files. We've had 2 Republican congressmen come on my show this week to say he's got to do this. I saw it in a SCIF, some of these videos, read these files. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and the American people are ready for it. Do you think that the president is actually going to do this?
Yeah, I actually believe that the president is going to release the UFO files to a degree. However, what we're asking for, what Congress is asking...
Mike?
Yeah.
Even Jeremy gets it. He will be releasing the UFO files to a degree, which is the same stuff Lou talked about. He said, yeah, we could have 25 files we want to bring out in this particular case, but if we find 10 of them, it deals with national security issues. We can't bring those out, but the other 15 we can bring out. So we're not going to get everything, but we're going to get something substantial, hopefully.
Or at least an acknowledgement, Thomas, like we've talked about.
Yeah. I think we're going to get more than acknowledgement at this point.
I hope so.
Oh, I so hope so too. Here we go. Again, don't hold your breath. Don't get overly excited. We've been playing national security tonight, folks. But you know what? There's something that's coming, and I can't wait for it to hit. Here we go.
For is very specifically 46 videos obtained by our intelligence communities and warfighters that show and demonstrate these incredible capabilities of UAP. Now, I have been exposed to the majority on that list. In fact, I'll just tell you, George Knapp and I did provide that list and much more to Congress because we know those files exist from personal experience.
And you have a new UFO video that you just released. It's from an MQ-9 Reaper drone. These drones are everywhere now, and it caught a glimpse of an unknown object. It was over the Jordanian-Syrian border back in 2021. The UFO appears to mock the drone and then shows what some are calling sort of instantaneous acceleration. Explain.
Yeah, so not some are calling. Anybody that looks
Anybody
at this,
watching would call it.
Yeah, you can see it for yourself. This has stood the test of time when we release it. So this is actually number 2 on that list that is proposed to the president to release. It shows instantaneous acceleration. It is something that we cannot do because of inertial effect. We do not have war machines that can do this. Not only do you see this object, this UAP that's shaped like a mushroom, you see it move instantaneously. It does appear to mock the Reaper drone. As soon as it gets a weapons grade lock on it, that's when it kind of moves to the left and shoots off to the right. There's absolutely, this is hardcore physical.
This is a new one, isn't it, Mike?
This sounds a lot to me like the 23-minute video that Lou's been talking about for years now.
Yeah.
See it move instantaneously. It does appear to mock the Reaper drone. As soon as it gets a weapons grade lock on it, that's when it kind of moves to the left and shoots off to the right. There's absolutely, this is hardcore physical evidence and proof, probably the best that we have in this FLIR footage. If you go back to the gimbal, the Tic Tac, all of this, you see great footage. This shows an observable that is only given to UAP, the ability to move instantaneously. That's the first observable.
You know, Mike, this brings up the point for the longest time. What the fuck? Why aren't these videos released?
They need to be declassified first, Thomas. We need an executive order for that to happen.
Bingo. We've been saying that, haven't we, ever since that fucking Truth Social post was announced? Oh, it's good enough. No, it's not good enough.
No, it's not.
Daryl, what do you think?
Yeah, no, the 23-minute video Lou said was very clear.
Right.
This isn't clear.
Not look very clear.
No. But good point, though.
But Daryl, the 23-minute video that Lou talked about had an MQ-9 Reaper drone in a foreign adversary's territory, and the UAP was fucking with it. It came right up close and personal in high definition, shot off to the mountain range in the distance on the horizon, and then shot back again instantly. I'm familiar with that video.
But
when
this
Lou
isn't
came
it.
on the show. Okay, well, I would still like to see the video he's talking about.
I want to see the video where you can see the occupancy of the craft. That's on my list. Top one.
I mean, the quality of the video you're talking about, Mike, I mean, is just that Reaper drone quality is, everybody's probably seen it, is when the MiG came along and jettisoned its fuel onto the Reaper drone. That was clear as day.
Well, I mean, look what happens when we run into something that what you're talking about, that was in the Black Sea. And you had the Russian Su-42, whatever it was, come in and dive bomb the Reaper drone, dumping its fuel, and you had clear video released within hours of it happening. We had the same thing going in the Taiwan Strait over in the South China Sea. You had Chinese fighters coming right up alongside ours, and they had the videos of the jets right up alongside them where you could see the occupancy of the jet fighter because they were freaking so close. There's a lot of videos out there. Or think about all the times we've blown up. We used to blow up ships from Venezuela until we took it over. Remember?
Yeah. I just would like to think that Vargas would ask the question, do you have any better video?
But at least they're not playing the same crappy video again and again like we've seen so many times.
It's just
right?
another new crappy video, though. Come on.
Oh, I know. Let's play some more. Here we go.
That our government has identified, and this is their analysis, not mine.
All right. Jeremy Corbell, boy, if those videos come out, we're going to need you to come back on and tell us what we're looking at. Really appreciate it. Congrats on the documentary.
Thank you. Nothing is planned, it's provoked. It's time for people now to take the opportunity and make some noise and push our government to release the footage that they should be able to see.
Oh, absolutely. We need the facts. Mike, go ahead and talk about this for a second. I need to step away for about 30 seconds. And then I've got some interesting news of some posts I've been going back and forth with on Matt Ford over the Good Trouble show. Interesting stuff. I don't think anyone's heard this one before. So, Mike, what are your thoughts on this one for the audience?
Mike, did they say when this video is coming out? Did he say when this is being released?
Well, here's the thing, Daryl. Luna gave a deadline of, I believe it was April 13th.
No, I'm sorry. I'm talking about his documentary. Has he said
no?
Oh, okay. So it's not like available right now.
No, he hasn't released it yet. He's still doing the prep work to get this all set up for distribution so that he can get paid to give us the information that, as a journalist, should have been giving to us already. But,
Disclosure has a price, Mike.
No, it doesn't, Tom. Listen, Daryl, it's no price for disclosure.
I'm sorry. I think my stereo just turned off again for some reason.
No, well, that's okay. But listen, Gene Sticco feels very strongly on this subject with Corbell and Knapp. And I agree with a lot of the points that Gene has made on the show repeatedly. And the fact that now they're trying to cash in on it, to me, it's a credibility killer. You have some real information and you're a journalist, you bring it out to the public, which is what me and Thomas do. Whatever we get access to and we verify, we bring that information out. You don't charge somebody for it because it sours the milk.
This is the reason why you never close the dojo. He's become completely dependent on this. And I think about this all the time. A lot of these people that get into this business, they at some point in time, they go, I'm going to have to make a decision. Am I going to spend all my time doing this? Or am I just going to go about my regular job and also do this in the background, I guess? I mean, I don't know.
They want to get paid. They put a lot of time in. They feel they've earned to be compensated for their time. But if you're in this for the money, it's a bad choice because the money is just not there. And if it is, listen, we don't do this for the money. I can assure you of that.
Oh, God, no.
Well, yeah, there's no merchandise to buy.
There's nothing. And if you do it, it's because it's something you believe in and you want to fight for the truth and you want to bring that out to the public because you feel they have a right to know.
Mike, not to brag. Consulting-wise, I could make over $200 an hour for what's going on. More. Now, for what I did over on Disclosure tonight after expenses, I netted $1,000 last year. Well, whoopsie-doo. We're not in it for the money. We're in it for the truth.
Fuck no. Whatever donations come in help keep the lights on. That's about
it.
All right.
Yeah, we invest in technology and software and other stuff to make our job getting it done, but that's what we're here for.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
The labor that goes into this, the work that you and I do, this is all labor of love, and we do it because it's something we believe in and we fight for. Not getting paid for it. That's for damn sure.
I've got a post here from Matt Ford. came out earlier today. I've gone back and forth with Matt on it to a degree. I just want to bring this one out because it shows, Mike, you remember what happened after I had a show going on, and at 2:45 in the morning, we had a Denali, a black Denali parked in front of my fucking house, and when the dog ran out because he wanted to take a piss and charged it, we had two people in black fatigues, a white guy and a black guy, or a white guy and an Asian guy in the front seat who saw me. They were shocked and they went taking off. You know, you're in this, you talk about this stuff, you become part of that area that they don't want you to talk about it. So let's get into what Matt was talking about here.
Okay.
As an intelligence professional, he's rebutting to someone who's a troll. You know damn well how compartmentalization works in CAPS. And you know how cutouts like Pinkerton and Wackenhuckett operate. These include the former JSOC operators that put the contract for the work that doesn't get written down. Remember, I got something about that. Colonel John Alexander talking about, we don't write this stuff down, and that was their only way to get around FOIA. He admits it. So let's get into the details. Your quote, UFO promoters built the list. Daily Mail packaged it. Rogan amplified it, framing it as doing real work. It lets you dismiss a federal investigation by associating with messengers you find embarrassing. The FBI, White House, and House oversight committees don't take cues from Joe Rogan. They open these reviews in the case files. Now, he says, I'm one of the journalists who outed the CIA DS&T Office of Global Access. The Office of Global Access, Mike, if you remember that one, that is the crash retrieval arm of the CIA. And he broke that. And as soon as he broke that, within a short amount of time, all the websites and everything that was indexed in Google disappeared. Gee, I wonder why. He said yes.
Anybody finding out? Yeah.
Yep. Yes, the same Daily Mail used as a punchline for hours after that article went live. I landed in Vegas at the top floor bar, listen to this one, of the Waldorf Astoria. Well, he picks good hotels. On the Strip, a man walked in, sat directly across to where I was sitting. Made clear I needed to watch my back and shut the fuck up. He took several photographs of me on his phone and walked out. He was either IC or working for one of the two contractors that he just named. Takeaway, this isn't just a threat. It wasn't that he found me. A man walked into the top floor of a bar in the city that I just landed in and went straight to the hotel I was at. Either I was under physical or technical surveillance. Yes, funds, they can follow you. Either I was under physical or my signal traffic was being read. That's a capability and decision, not a base rate problem. Now, if an American journalist gets that treatment for one Daily Mail article, imagine what scientists and government whistleblowers who actually hold classified materials are dealing with. The threat doesn't only come from the foreign adversaries. No, folks. Pretending it does, using your CIA background as credit and dismissing the people, raising it as UFO promoters is a part of your post that should bother people. It also tips your hat. Finally, tradecraft fucking sucks. Yes, Mike, we're all subject to it. We bring out the information they don't like, they'll come out and make themselves known. And it's more than a hint, is it?
Yeah, it's definitely more than a hint, Thomas. 100%. But he's bringing this up now. I wonder what's going on that would make him make a statement like this.
Well, there was a post. Let's get this back up here again. I know who's targeting America's nuclear scientists. I work in nuclear security, and I'm a former CIA officer. Really? It's content creators who are creating the problem. UFO promoters built this list. The Daily Mail packaged it. Joe Rogan amplified it. And every week a new name keeps getting added to a trending, regardless of whether the person had any connection to nuclear weapons. But we're not talking about nuclear weapons, folks. We're talking about the biggest secret in history than non-human intelligence. The actual data, 10 cases over 33 months. 4 have documented non-mysterious cases of death. 1 was killed by a former classmate who claimed a mass shooting at Brown University, yada, yada. So they're getting into the details, trying to go ahead and say it's nothing. But, Mike, it's something. Maybe not all the cases, but there's something there that lines up.
Yeah, well, there's some of the cases, like we just spoke about earlier, are unrelated to each other, and then some of them are probably related in one form or another.
Yeah.
That's just a pattern. It's how it is.
It's the reality of what we're all dealing with now, Mike. Unfortunately, we wish it was different, but you know what? As we get through disclosure, the closer we get over the target, the more they're going to push back.
The more flack.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Remember, folks, if you're new to the show, you're dropping in to see what's going on. Hopefully you like what we're doing here. I'd love to have you as a regular subscriber at Disclosure tonight. We're trying to get up to 18,000. We've been stuck at 17.5 for the longest time. I'd love you to come be a regular subscriber here. We try to bring you the best information with regards to UFO Disclosure here on YouTube and live. We do this live 3 days a week, Monday, Friday, and Saturday. We may have to start doing this more often because the interest is there, Mike.
I know, but we would need an executive order or these files to come forward.
We'll get there.
And then I know. And if we do, then we'll be here covering it.
All right. Now, getting back to my X feed, my God, we're finally there. I've been looking forward to this for a while. We've been hitting so many different angles. Let's get to this, Mike. Coming to our first story, overclassified NASA shuttle veteran, an entire family erased in plane crash. The 14th in UAP scientist purge. James Tony Moffat, who was 60 at that time, NASA James Johnson Space Center payload specialist who supported 14 space shuttle and ISS missions, which means he got to see the good videos, and a retired Lieutenant Colonel test pilot passed away in an unfortunate crash. Whether that crash was just something out of circumstance, Mike, it's something to add to the list.
Potentially.
Yeah.
But then it would have to be pursued and either ruled out or included in the pattern.
Right. You never know what kind of nefarious stuff can be going on. Daryl?
Go ahead, Daryl.
National security, Daryl.
All right. Oh, no. I unmute myself and then you make me drink. Okay, so a poll. There's 500 plus people in the chat.
500 people, yeah.
I'd be curious to know, do people think within, maybe this is a 3-part question.
Okay, the question is, and I can get to the answers. The question is,
when do you think disclosure will happen? Within 2 months, 6 months, or never, or something like that. You know what I mean? 2 months, 6 months, longer, or never.
I'd go 6 months if I had to take an educated guess.
When will it start, right?
No, when will it happen? When will disclosure take place?
When will it happen? I've got that. We've got the poll going now. Here we go, folks. When will it happen? I personally say it's going to happen within 2 months.
Yeah, I'm going there too. And the reason why is because the Luna stuff, I think everything if that's what everybody says it is, then that's disclosure, should be disclosure for most people.
Yeah. Where the fuck did my chat go? There we go. So, all right. So, hey, Google, set a timer for 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Oh, thanks, Thomas.
1 minute and 30 seconds.
I've got the male, Google, you got the female, go figure. All right, so we got 62 votes in already. We got 1 minute 18 left to go. So far, 2 months is 41% of our audience, followed by 6 months, 34% of our audience, and never is 27%. Come on, folks, you got a minute left to vote. If you get a chance to go ahead, I know over 50% of our audience is on the TV, and I'm sorry, YouTube sucks. They don't give you that chance to go ahead and vote for your television set. What?
You can use your phone to vote.
But you can use your phone. Laura, your hand is up, my dear lady.
Yeah, I'm going to say this is just like, I'm going to stick with Lou. It's a slow process. I'm going to say full disclosure, 5 years, but That initial one is going to be the end of this year, beginning of next year.
So you're
And I
saying
think
at
that
least you're
Luna-
saying 6 to 9 months out.
Yeah, and I would say that the Luna disclosure, all these video, it's just going to be sent to Arrow, and we're not going to see it. That's my guess.
Oh wow! You think Arrow's gonna? You think Susan's gonna be able to shut down Trump?
Yeah.
Oh my God! I don't believe
She's
that.
not that into UFOs.
She doesn't have the look. She's not a blonde bombshell. She will be cut quickly.
I'm sorry with the bad. I don't know.
Well, that's okay, but you know, everyone has an opinion. You have two of them.
I'm not. Yeah.
You're
Trump
speaking
would
on
be
one or the
first
other.
person to question anybody in the same position for 16 years.
Yeah.
I mean, if he knew that, he'd be. Yeah. Some
Well,
eyebrows would be
our
raised.
audience has spoken, folks. I am going to end the poll. 38% of our audience won, saying we're going to get something. Disclosure will happen within 2 months. 6 months
The
came in,
disturbing part of that
never
poll
came
is
in at
that
32%,
32%
and
are
6
never.
months came in at 30%. It's close, but, you know, by a cunt hair.
The disturbing part of that is that 32% came in as never. I would have never have thought that.
Yeah. Well, we still won. How about that?
Mike D. What does Mikey D think about
Mikey,
that?
how did you vote?
6 months, like I said at the beginning.
All right. I voted
What do
2
you think
months.
about the 32% as never?
I
crazy.
think, yeah, well, you know what, Daryl? They have a right to be
Working in
frustrated
Huntsville
and, pessimistic about it. I know where they're coming from. I can understand it. I don't agree with it, but I can definitely understand why they would be frustrated.
You know, it would be great if there's a sub poll of the 32%. Do you believe?
My God, you're making
there
me
are
work
aliens
here.
out there?
Where did I fucking?
I mean, you know, that'd be interesting. They must.
I lost the window. We deal with it later. God damn it. Where is it at? Let me get to this window. Studio YouTube Live. That's that one. No. Live streaming YouTube. No. The other one go. Store chat. Pop out chat. There we go. Okay. Got that again now. All right. So you want to have a follow-up?
Well, no, not necessarily, especially after I saw a guy in the chat say, let's do polls for the next half hour.
We could, but let's get past this. Where our next one is a NASA nuclear scientist was found deceased in his Tesla after colliding with a guardrail, leaving his body so burned that it was completely unrecognizable and unidentifiable, according to a new report from Fox News. Yes, a 29-year-old Joshua LeBanc, who worked on nuclear propulsion projects, died in a fiery crash over the summer. His family at the time said they feared he had been abducted when he left his phone at home. According to the Tesla Sentry Mode data, his vehicle sat at the Huntsville, Alabama airport for 4 hours on the morning of his death. His car, son of a bitch, come back. Get through that one. All right, so... where is that? His car was found later that afternoon. Authorities have now told Fox News that the car collided with a guardrail before slamming into trees and bursting into flames. His family said it was completely uncharacteristic for him not to communicate with them and that it was not part of his plan to travel west that day. LeBlanc had impressive resume, according to his LinkedIn profile. He worked for NASA for over 5 years. He was a team lead for the Space Nuclear Propulsion Instrumentation and Control Maturation. LeBlanc then became a team lead for NASA's demonstration rocket for Agile cislunar operation and nuclear thermal propulsion. So a guy who's dealing with nuclear propulsion and space. Apparently, it's someone who's going to be disappeared, unfortunately. Let's play this clip. Here we go, folks.
Joshua LeBlanc grew up in New Iberia, but he was working in Huntsville at NASA as an electrical engineer. His family reported him missing earlier this week. His car was found Tuesday afternoon, 2 hours away from his home, with no signs of him anywhere. Joshua LeBlanc was well known in New Iberia, where he graduated from Catholic High and later attended and graduated from UL Lafayette. His family tells me he last communicated with them at 4:32 a.m. Tuesday. They also told me he never showed up for a job that he loved that morning as well. What we do know about his disappearance is this. Alabama authorities did track his blue Tesla Model 3. According to the Tesla car data, it stopped for 4 hours at the Huntsville International Airport, which is about 12 minutes from his apartment. The data shows his car left the airport, traveled west on Alabama.
You know, though, I got to bring this up. Teslas have all the videos, not just of the external cameras, but don't they have the internal cameras as well, Mike?
They do, Thomas. You're correct.
Why is that missing?
I don't know.
Back roads before crashing in Florence, Alabama. Tuesday, 2 p.m., the car was discovered and a body inside, but the body was found burned beyond recognition, according to family members. But the case has only raised more questions. LeBlanc's phone, his personal belongings, and even his dog were all left behind in his Huntsville apartment.
No.
Family members say the detour and disappearance don't match anything Joshua had planned for that day, and now they believe he may have been abducted from his home.
Wow. Another person involved with space, nuclear technologies, etc. Mike, it's almost like we're dealing with a future alien civilization that came to our planet, is going back in time to try to go ahead and change the past to affect the future. That's what it's really looking like here.
No, it could be something. A lot of the details in this don't quite add up. Go ahead, Daryl. You have your hand up.
Well, I just want to say that I think the common denominator in most of this is that they were all working on propulsion, all some sort of propulsion. And what's kind of comes out in my mind is perhaps they're on the verge of something big in terms of propulsion, nuclear propulsion. It sounds like, and you know who has a stake in propulsion? People that make fuel. They're going to charge $4 million for a tanker to go through a different way other than the Strait of Hormuz. $4 million. I mean, anyway, there's a lot of money in energy. Is all I'm saying. And that could be, I mean, the common denominator I've heard from all these people that have disappeared is propulsion. And I think it's nuclear propulsion.
Yeah, but one of the things I want to bring this up, I know we got something from Kyle. I just want to show this because it kind of gets there. Kyle, we need to talk offline about bringing this out there. Let's bring this up here. Here we've got 13 different people who have gone missing, and their ties to NASA, JPL, the different parts of the NSC and everything. They're all really kind of connected, no matter how we look at it. Kyle?
Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
JPL, they're out of Pasadena, California. I used to drive past them when I lived there. Cool location, downtown Pasadena. You know, if you ever needed a car from a lady who only drove it on the weekends to go to church, she's the one to buy it. The little lady from Pasadena.
So many old lady from Pasadena jokes.
Yeah. Kyle, your hand was up? Yes? No?
You're muted.
Sorry about that. I was going to say, just because they're nuclear scientists, that doesn't per se mean they were working on a conventional nuclear project. That seems like the type of scientist you would want to work on, possibly fusion or maybe something. One of their skill sets would apply even to like vacuum energy if they have a strong enough physics background.
Yeah. Good points, Kyle. You know, but it just kind of tears down to what were the different divisions they were working for, where does it tie back to, and how does it all get back to the executive branch coming from the Department of Defense, Department of Energy, the Air Force, etc. There's just a lot of tentacles that get out there, but it's just showing there's a lot of people. But as your researchers showed, it's not just in the United States. This kind of elimination of scientists is global. What other countries have been involved besides the United States and China? Has there been things in India and other countries?
Yeah, everywhere. China, Russia, India. And I think I think there's a lot of data that's opening up, and some stuff starting to open up in Japan. One of the most interesting is and nobody's really talking about this, is the string of deaths of the scientists that worked on space observation projects, and not the guys that stare at monitors and eat pizza and drink big gulps. These were guys that developed some of the cutting edge space observation technology.
Right.
And like, just fucking die. I mean, it was like one after the other. I'd be like,
Yeah.
what's a sure as shit way to get killed? Develop a cutting edge space observation technology.
Yeah.
And there's a whole cohort group of them. And one of the most fascinating is one particular imaging technology. It's a radio technology, but it's called submillimeter.
Right.
Radio
astronomy.
Radio imaging. Yeah. And they use that to determine the composition of like cold space objects.
Right, like
So
other
what kind of
planets
metal
out in the
it is.
distance, or
Yeah.
solar systems in the distance. Yes.
Yeah, supposedly, they had I was told the Space Force. Well, there is a record of it, but Space Force funds a project at Hilo, Hawaii, University of Hawaii. They have one of the strongest astronomy departments in the world, and they build a panel, and they do their thing. They tear it down, and then they move all of the scientists involved into James Webb projects that are umbrella with security. Then you have Koichiro Morita. He was a co-founder of the ALMA, same technology in Japan. He gets murdered in a street robbery. You get Tom Marsh, who is from the UK, and he visits Lucilla Observatory in Chile. Same thing, submillimeter array. And he gets there.
Don't we have some sub-millimeter arrays over in Hawaii?
I think they do now.
Yeah.
But this was back in 2020.
You're right.
It was like during the COVID, when COVID started. Rex knows a little bit about it, or a good bit about it. But
right.
So Koichiro Morita, Tom Marsh from the UK. This was 2022. Also, he goes to Lucilla Observatory in Chile and disappears for 55 days. They search for him.
He was gone for 55 days. That is amazing.
Yeah, and then they find him in a ditch, undressed, waist up, and 5 kilometers from the observatory. Yeah. Then his family fights for a cause of death, and they won't release it. Yeah. So they appeal it, and then they have a closed hearing in court for petitioning for the medical examiner to release the results. That was March 27th. That was just a few weeks ago.
Right.
And I don't know. I'd love to hear what happened with that. Then you have a guy named Walter Steiger. There's
been a lot of conversation.
He had access to all the data for like a year.
Yeah.
And he goes off. Many more. Fuck. There's.
Yeah. Well, let's take a deep dive on this tomorrow. It's interesting information for audience, but it's just like, it's a lot to digest, and let's cover this tomorrow if you have time.
Sure.
Absolutely. And our next clip we've got coming up, we've got Interstellar UAP. Going ahead, we've got someone who's a producer over at TMZ, going ahead with an exclusive interview with Tim Burchett about UFOs, UAP, talking about this and about the situation we're dealing with. Let's see where this little hunk of a guy can take the conversation. Here we go, folks. Audio has to go all the way up. We'll start
There's been a lot of conversation regarding UAPs.
UFO, sure.
There's a huge debate between whether or not we're being visited by extraterrestrial life or if this is some kind of military defense project.
Let me
Lockheed
stop you
Martin.
right there. It's not Russia. If it was Russia, they would not be bogged down in Ukraine if they had this kind of technology. If it's China, they don't.
Bingo, bingo, bingo. Tim is on fire.
And it's not ours because we would not put our military in that kind of harm's way.
What if it's
So we're not doing blue on blue. Us putting stuff in front of our soldiers without telling them.
not manned by a pilot?
We have zero capabilities of that. I mean, we're talking about things that go hundreds of miles an hour underwater, things that can hover. We have no energy source that something could hover for 2 to 6 hours. You could not survive in that. Literally, you would turn into a ketchup package.
This sounds like you're under the impression it is extraterrestrial life.
Yeah, I am. I don't think it's us. I mean, do you think we're the best that God can do? We are one grain of sand in a billion beaches.
Have you seen anything? Any files?
Absolutely.
Can you talk about this publicly?
Absolutely not.
Wait a minute. Mike, aren't we supposed to be getting the truth coming out from this from Trump? He has gone and said that, you know, he's declassifying everything, giving us the right to know the truth.
Right. But you heard Tim just say right now that he can't talk about it.
Right, but don't forget, we've had Representative Eric Burlison said if he knew anything about a non-human intelligence being here on this planet, irrespective of the security clearances, he would go ahead and disclose it, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Ozembic has not done that, has he?
No, he has
and
not.
He's been in the same briefings, the same two briefings that Tim was in this week, right?
Right. Oh, wait. Timbo said that he was in SCIFs that Burlison wasn't in. So they were in different meetings.
Okay.
Yeah.
But either way, if Burlison says he gets this information, he will break national security and bring it out. Do you believe that, or do you think that's just bullshit?
It's bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking bullshit. Bring out the lube, my friend.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. There we go.
The world look at itself differently should they see the things that you have?
I mean, for a short while, we always are going to go back to feudal fighting. I think it's just human nature. We are.
Wow. Interesting clip coming out of this one. And our next one, we've got a clip coming from, oh God, American Sunrise on one of the channels out there. Let's go ahead and play this clip. Let's get into it. Get across. Yes, this is the morning news media, but Mike, this is what America lives on. Sometimes there's a lot of people in their houses that have been retired who are getting exposed to this. Let's see what they have to say, eh?
Yeah.
President Trump did say, Brian, that he's going to be releasing some formerly classified UFO information. We had a representative, Congressman Eric Burlison, a friend of the show, friend from Missouri. He said that there was a massive UFO
Thank you
that
so much.
fell to the earth or landed on
so
the
hard
earth,
for
and
this. I really
the
appreciate your
U.S.
subscription.
built a military fort
Thank you.
around it to try to cover it up. What else do you suspect might be in these UFO files? Will it lend any? I mean, you know, I remember 2 weeks ago when Matt Gaetz said all this stuff was true.
God,
People
why
were
does
like,
she,
"Oh, Matt
Mike? Why does she remind me of Tammy Faye?
Gaetz is crazy, and now everybody's like, well, yeah, it's actually kind of. Anna Paulina Luna came out and said it was true. I mean,
And the guy in the
what is
right
going
corner,
on?
my
What are
God,
we
he has too much fake tan going on. Just saying.
hearing these files that President Trump is going to declassify?
You know what, Dr. Gina? I don't think, and maybe you're a great person to talk on this, I don't think the American people can handle what's in
Oh, he
those
has no
files. I
fucking
think it's
clue. My God.
going to freak people out, the truth of what's living amongst us, the demonic forces that are amongst us.
My God, there you go, Mike. He's calling out his demonic forces. We have a religious zealot there, don't we?
Uh-huh.
Son of a bitch. We're going to deal with a lot of them, aren't we?
In the mainstream media.
Like
some,
Vance.
Yeah. Yep.
Son of a bitch. There we go.
And I think that there's a lot of demonic forces surrounding these UFOs. I just do. That's my personal opinion from what I've,
Yeah, everyone has an opinion. You're either talking out one asshole or the other, right? National security, folks.
Red. Yep. But I don't think the American people can handle it. I think that's why.
Of course we can handle it, you son of a bitch.
But I'm all for it. We're all grown-ups here. We can get this information and process it the way we process things. And I think we deserve to know the facts. But I think it's very suspicious. All these scientists just committing suicide. They're going missing. They overdose. What? Can't believe it.
Wait a minute.
It's insane.
Wait a minute. Mike, has there been one of these scientists who have overdosed?
No. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
He's a fucking tard. He's a retard. Yeah. Flat out. Doesn't matter where he's from. Fucking retard.
And for the record, I'm not suicidal. Okay? I'm healthy. 56-year-old.
Oh, God.
Male.
We could do a service to him being suicidal. Let's be honest.
Probably whoop anybody's butt that's watching us right now. I'm in good shape. No one's going to kill me.
What a schmuck.
Right there. That's the text
really
of me,
is.
Brian. I'm healthy and I could probably whoop anybody's butt that's watching. If something happens
Yeah. He could whip anybody's butt who got into the way of him getting to the buffet. Leave it at that.
Put him up. I got you, Brian.
And that's not fake news, everybody.
Oh, my God. American Sunrise. What kind of bullshit is this? But it's out there. I hate to say it, folks. It's in my feed.
I got to say something about
oh, my
this
God.
guy. This guy you're talking about, he was with the RSBN network, which is basically a network that formed all about following Trump.
Right Side Broadcast Network are the people who've been like, oh my God.
Since 2015, that's all they did. They've covered every single Trump rally, every single thing Trump has done out in public. Anyway, this is where that guy came from. And in this term, in this administration and during this term, he had been a White House reporter. He would always give Caroline Leavitt like softball questions, like almost, what do you think about those Democrats? I mean, that kind of stuff. I mean, just like totally feeding her.
Schmuck.
Yeah, easy
a
stuff.
Fucktard.
And then Trump knew that too.
We call them Pop-Tarts, honestly. He's
Trump
a
really
Pop-Tart.
liked this guy because he would give, these questions that were just softballs for them to hit out of the park. For some reason, in the last 2 or 3 months, this guy hasn't been around. I don't know what happened.
Gee, go figure, because he's a fucktard. I'm sorry, he's a Pop-Tart. Let's get into this. We have now Tim Burchett on Sean Hannity. Someone is sending a clear message regarding those missing or dead scientists. Wow, the numbers keep on extruding out there. Let's see what frickin' Hannity has to say about this.
Tennessee Republican Congressman Tim Burchett is with us. All right, Congressman, 11, and we're talking about people, many of whom knew each other. We're talking about, in one case, a woman that said, if they ever claim I committed suicide, I'm not suicidal. There aren't any autopsies.
Yeah, but she was really mental and she had problems with depression and everything else. Sean, you're missing the point of the conversation.
This is over a 4-year period of time. My antenna is going through the roof. Where are you on all this?
Well, it should, Sean. Thank you for having me on. This is a very important issue. I'm glad Peter Doocy put it before the president. And I hope that the president does talks to more than the people that he's appointed, because the onion needs to be peeled back many layers. Imagine if you were, say your family was mobbed up. Let's just use this as an example. And you owned a very nice restaurant with a chef who is worldwide known and had
Thank you
recipes
very much.
and everything.
Appreciate that.
And then that chef was rumored to be maybe handing your recipes off to someone else, your competitors. You probably wouldn't rough up or kill your chef, but you might destroy or rough up some of your busboys. Now, not that any of these people are busboys, but to me it looks like somebody is sending a clear message. And of course, if you go back to further, I know this might come as a shock to you, but the president has demanded release of the FBI files. And a lot of these people are rumored and a part of organizations and groups that have access to some of those.
Wait a minute, Mike.
Yeah.
Tim just dropped it, said Trump has said he wants the release of the FBI files.
Yeah.
But it's not just the FBI, it's ARO and everybody else, right?
We know the FBI has a specialized unit
that
has been investigating this. And I believe that Luna's list of files came directly from the meeting that she and Burchett and Burlison had.
Right, but don't forget the list of those 46 files didn't, like you were saying, didn't come from Luna. It came from Burchett and Burlison and others who wanted to get that information, and she captured that and brought it out to the public sphere.
Right.
Which is basically her saying, fuck you to the deep state. I'm going to take this information we're negotiating with behind the scenes and bring it out and give it to the public.
Right.
Yeah.
To try to put pressure on the government to release the files. But
yeah.
All they have to do is have the president write an executive order and declassify it. Then we'll get it. That's it. Not complicated.
Chinese scientists.
Yeah. It's a mess. If we get to this next story in our feed, coming to us from News Nation, yes, they're talking about Chinese scientists and in military and AI and hypersonics have also been mysteriously being disappeared. Let's play this one. Here we go.
History surrounding more than a dozen American scientists who worked on UAP, defense, and nuclear research programs. They're either dead or missing, and this might be part of a larger global issue. Some top Chinese scientists are dying too. News Nation national correspondent Mills Hayes is in Chicago. Good morning, Mills. At least 10 scientists in China died under what some are saying are suspicious circumstances. This is just a bizarre case, not only here in the U.S., but now in China.
Right. Good morning to you, Hannah. And there's other countries as well. But these dead Chinese scientists worked on everything from drones to military to AI to Taiwan invasion scenarios. And deaths date back to 2023. The deaths allegedly involved suicide, sudden illnesses, and car crashes. Right now, there is no evidence linking the cases in China to the U.S. And of course, China is often tight-lipped on matters of its national security and government, and it controls the media. But the obituary of one of the scientists on a state-run site said that he was sacrificed. Back here at home, the FBI and the House Oversight Committee are looking into what happened to our scientists and government workers, many of whom had high-level security clearance.
Well, Mike, it definitely goes beyond the shores of the United States and delves into China. But, I have to say, wow, this is going on in the United States. Over in Oklahoma, where'd it go? There we go. We got a crazy tornado that was going on. Absolutely nuts.
Nice.
Good. Oh, yeah. Why would someone with a truck like that just leave it sit there? But apparently, they probably weren't in hiding. That is just crazy stuff that's going on across the United States with weather and everything. All right, so we got a little clip here from Matt Laszlo. Thank you, Matt, from Askapol UAP, talking about two classified UFO briefings that happened in the past week. All I have to say is, what the fuck, Mike? We're supposed to be getting Trump disclosure. Members of the House of Representatives are getting the truth, but the American people are still being delivered on the fuck you, sit and rotate. What is up with that?
Not a good sign.
No.
You and I are not happy about this. And we've been speaking out about it since before Trump's current administration started.
So let's see what Tim brings forward. But you know what? It's just bullshit. If these schmucks can get the truth And Trump said we needed to classify this. What the fuck? Why aren't we getting the truth? Why are they still covering it up? Because they're a bunch of fucking liars, Mike.
Sounds like it, Thomas.
Meetings here. I was in one today, as a matter of fact. And
What was that on?
It's in SCIF, and I can tell you.
What was that on, UAP?
Oh, yeah. I was in one last week, and it was, last week was pretty intense, and I'm hoping they'll get some more members.
Well, it's interesting. You guys haven't had.
I appreciate all your work on September. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
But like, you guys were rebuffed from the SCIF like 2 years ago, and then last year you couldn't get in there. Has that changed?
A little bit. I mean, you know, but
Today was it Arrow?
there was some of those guys in there. I just think they're all.
Have they changed their tune at all?
A little. They're more receptive, but I just don't. I think they're limited on. They send the people in there limited on what they know.
Yeah.
And that's why they do it. That way they don't have to lie to us. Hey, brother, what's up?
Hey, man, how are you? That feels on purpose.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. 100%.
Does it seem from those briefers like they understand it's a new day in Washington?
Do what?
Does it feel like a new day in Washington with Trump?
Yeah, but, you know, Trump doesn't know the questions to ask. And I think the intelligence people around him are going to try to buffalo him. And
well, Mike.
Within one direction.
Yeah, and especially the underlings who you guys are dealing with.
Absolutely, 100%.
Mike, it's a deep conversation, but I think Tim calls out the cover up. He's been saying for the longest time, disclosure is a cover up, right?
He has. Congress is covering everything up. The government is covering it all up. So now he's saying
they've been doing like they've been doing for the last 80 years, right?
Yeah. The difference is it sounds like they're giving members of Congress like Timbo information, but he can't talk about it.
I know, but I have to bring out and ask the question, where the fuck is Representative Eric Burlison? Because he has said many times in the past, if he gets the information with regards to the non-human intelligence and it's real and they're out there, he said he will break national security and give us the truth, right?
And what? Get locked up and go to a federal pen? I don't
but
think
no. Irrespective of that, he promised he would bring that out. So where the fuck is Burlison standing up for the shit that he said he was going to do? I don't care what the result is going to be. He said if he got the result of information about aliens being here on the planet, he would break national security and bring it out to the people.
He's a politician, Thomas.
Oh, in other words, he's a bullshit artist.
Right. Exactly. That's what that means. They're all like that, every one of them. So I'm not shocked or surprised.
Yeah. I hear you. Oh, son of a bitch.
I know.
All right. I'm seeing the spinning disc of death. So I have to go ahead. Audience, if you're there, I'll be right back, honestly. I'm sorry. I wanted to bring up my bullshit artist sound effects and I fucked up. Let me go ahead and do a force quit. I need to kill OBS. I'll be right back, folks. I promise, honestly. Give me a second. All right, we're back. Susan, go away, please. All right. Sorry about that. I had to go ahead and fix this. Yeah, we were just saying, Mike, what we're dealing with, what's happening.
Oh, a bullshit artist.
That's what we're dealing with coming out of the federal government, right?
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
For 80 years now.
80
right.
years.
Yep.
We even got Kennedy on Fox Business covering this kind of stuff. Yeah, we have all the different people are missing. Oh, Mike, I got to bring this out. This is to do with NASA. You know how they were talking about we're going to have this space station that was going to be going ahead and orbiting around the moon?
Yeah.
The power module and the module that was going to go ahead and actually house the astronauts who were going to be there. Guess what? It's fucked up. It's fucked. 100%. Well, they've been dealing with extreme corrosion going on the modules, and they can't explain it. Both modules. But who was in charge of both those modules, Mike?
Boeing?
Lockheed.
Oh.
The same schmucks who gave us the Artemis capsule with the bottom part of it for going ahead and re-entry that was flawed. The technology that they used to build these modules for the space station that was going to come across around the moon, coming from Lockheed and from other European partners who were working with, guess it, Lockheed. We're schmucked.
Yeah, well, the toilets we know don't work, so
yeah,
not a good sign.
Yeah. Well, good news is this should be happening the next day or so. Yeah. Although it's being hidden from the SOHO satellites. Some of our satellites are picking it up, Mike. We've got a new comet who's coming in relation to the sun. Sol is here. We're right here. As it's coming around to go ahead or going around the sun, it's got a very active tail. And the next day to 2 days, we're going to be in the influence of that tail of whatever it brings to us. You never know where it could go, but there could be a good sky show that we've never been waiting for, that we didn't know was going to be there.
Means the 4th of July will come early this year.
Oh, God, yeah. We're at April 24th, 25th, or 26th. There we go. If it's going to happen. Oh, Mike, I hate to bring this up. We cover it on the channel. Uh-oh, what was that? Who is that? Oh, this is the stuff. That's me, okay. That's the stuff. We lost David Wilcox, unfortunately.
Right.
On Tuesday night, or was it Wednesday? Yeah. Either way, another individual who was plagued with mental health issues.
Hey, Thomas, sorry to butt in, but I don't know if anybody can see the video in the back chat. All I have is like.
Here you go. Can you see it now?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had to stop OBS before and repeat it. My problem.
No worries.
Oops. All right, so UAP Juan pointing this thing out earlier today. 2 things to stand out from many. 1, Liberation Times. Christopher Sharp, he's really tied into what's going on in Disclosure, understands that David Grush and Matthew Sullivan, the guy who got killed 2 weeks before he was coming to testify, had previously served together in the Air Force. 2, Major General David Abba and Sullivan carried the burden that a few select of this nation have of truly understanding what's going on, adding that they bore the weight every day. The second one reminds me of something Tom DeLonge said, quote, imagine being read into something that changes how you see everything. History, religion, technology, and then being told you can't share it. Mike, we can relate to this. You've seen the emails. You've seen the communications I've shared with you.
Right.
And this deals with this head on. We have countries out there who understand the history of if something comes forward, what it's going to do to their civilization, what it'll do to their religion, and more importantly, what it's going to do to the understanding of technology. And then being told he can't share it. But you know what, Mike? We're in a point where they're not going to be able to not share it because it's going to become public knowledge, right?
Well, it hasn't yet. And until it does...
We're about there.
Well, again, none of the files or information have been declassified or released.
But some of the stuff we're talking about is not just from the United States, but it's from things that are coming from international. Especially, look at all the sightings we've been having in the Middle East lately, right?
Yeah.
It's not just coming from us, it's coming from us and the Middle East.
It's because
they're seeing it as much as we're seeing it, right?
Yes, it's not a United States issue. It's a global issue. That's why.
Bingo.
Not one country, it's the planet. It's the whole planet.
Yeah, it is. Whether we like it or not. But it's the reality of what we're all heading towards. Straight on.
Yeah. Well, we just need the first steps to come forward with actual evidence. Still waiting.
All right.
We'll have to see where it goes.
Well, that's what we can do. I've got another clip here coming to us from News Nation. They've always seemed to be on top of this more than the others. Fox News in second, but News Nation has had the lead on disclosure, eh?
Yeah, it has. Which is a good thing.
Oh, God, yeah. Let's get into this next one. The U.S. is not only the country to see a slew of scientists mysteriously dying. We're talking about that. Let's get into it. So let's play this clip. All right, here we go, folks.
Are suspicious circumstances. This is just a bizarre case, not only here in the U.S., but now in China.
Right. Good morning to you, Hannah. And there's other countries as well. But these dead Chinese scientists worked on everything from drones to military to AI to Taiwan invasion scenarios. And the deaths date back to 2023. The deaths allegedly involved suicide, sudden illnesses, and car crashes. Right now, there is no evidence linking the cases in China to the U.S. And of course, China is often tight-lipped on matters of its national security and government, and it controls the media. But the obituary of one of the scientists on a state-run site said that he was sacrificed. Back here at home, the FBI and the House Oversight Committee are looking into what happened to our scientists and government workers, many of whom had high-level security clearance, some with access to classified material tied to nuclear, space, or defense work. And there is no evidence that these cases are related or part of a larger conspiracy, but we did speak with News Nation Law and Justice contributor and former FBI agent Jennifer Coffendorfer, who
Mike, I want to go ahead and point out on this one, they've got David Woolcock up here now.
Okay.
You have Michael David Hicks and other people that keeps on expanding out. Wait till they bring in the scientists from China and everything else. It's gonna keep on expanding out, and we're going to see that number if mass media is looking at this. The numbers that are going on within the audience of these people is going to start peeking out in the analytics. It's not just going to, we look at the normal phase of what's going on, but then we have these people who are involved in this stuff. I swear their number is going to start spiking up if it isn't already.
It depends on what they come out with publicly.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Let's continue on. Here we go.
Explains what this investigation looks like right now.
They will be starting at ground zero with the local authorities saying, what are the facts and circumstances surrounding this individual's situation? And if they find something that is circumspect or doesn't line up or comport, then they will then tangent off and look at, are there any connections to anything else?
Well, Mike, it's not just about speculation. It's about documenting what are the connections in that global murder board that needs to be out there. How do all these things connect, and how do they relate to each other? And the more we look at that, the more that we're going to see that there's something there.
Yeah, but we're going to need more data points and more facts that the government or the investigators.
But it's not just the data points and the facts, and it's how we can present it. with less details, more visual information that the general people can understand what's going on.
Right. I would tend to agree with that.
Yeah. Let's watch some more of this. We have 20 seconds left, but there's more to cover. My God. You know, Mike, we've had over, I look at the numbers tonight. Where are we at? Jesus Christ. Come on, you son of a bitch. Analytics. Not there. Stream settings. What happens when you go ahead and create your cursor be larger to deal with this stuff? Come on, work with me. Son of a bitch. I'm feeling old, Mike.
Yeah, you and me both.
Oh, God, yeah. All right, let's get to this. All right, it's been a great night. We could keep on going forever, but you know what? We're into this, 2.5 hours, and we do have a show tomorrow.
We do.
We're at
2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern.
2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. We're at 10 p.m. London time.
UK time.
For our friends in the United Kingdom, we love you. And that's why we do the show on Saturdays when we do, because you deserve a disclosure tonight live, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. There's a lot of shows out there that cover this stuff. They're not live. They're pre-recorded. They handle their content, everything we're going to deal with. But you know what? We do this live because we don't have to edit the video. Right? We can do it live, deal with it, go on with it. We have a great audience. We have people saying comment all the time. We have an open door policy. If people want to go ahead and join the show, guess what?
Come on in.
We have a link that goes on in the chat right there every single time. Tells people from your call in, go ahead, follow the link. If you're on a computer, on a desktop or laptop, or you're on a mobile device, join us. Ask questions. We have an open door policy, and I think we're the only show crazy enough out there to actually do it. But you know what? It works. Shelley used to be part of the show. She's part of it right now. She's part of the community. A lot of the people in the back, right? That's
right.
How you jumped in. You jumped in at the same time as Lee and so on. You fucking crazy motherfuckers. Wow. Yeah.
We've come a long way from then to now, though. So.
Oh, yeah. And that's where disclosure used to be. A fucking dumpster fire floating down the road.
Oh, yes, it was.
And I have an action figure around here somewhere. Wait. Mike?
Yeah?
Come on, focus, you little fucker. There we go. This is fine. The dumpster.
Yeah.
The dumpster fire of disclosure.
Yeah.
Gotta love it, my friend.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We've had a great time. We've been going ahead and covered a lot of stuff. You know what? We had a lot of interruptions along the way, but you know what? That's how you deal with it. It's a life. It's a passion.
And like Lou said, it's not perfect. So it doesn't have to be.
We're far from it.
Right.
You know, Mike, have you ever found a doctor let me fix this, to perfect medicine?
No.
They practice medicine, meaning they are always practicing and they're not perfect, right?
Correct. You're right.
And we're no better. We practice, we're not perfect. And by the way, my friends, we haven't said it enough time, Daryl. National security. Cheers.
And speaking of national security, Brian, you have your hand up.
Brian, my God. Will pigs fly?
Well, I've got it out here, Thomas.
You're in the living room, God damn it.
Well, I know you're trying to close down the show, but I just want to bring up one thing because great show, by the way, but Thomas's show has always been ahead of the curve on a few things. And you hate to be the person that predicts things, but once again, if we can remember that Tim Burchett introduced House resolution, I think it's 8197, in early April. Okay, and I know we talked about it briefly at the time, but I don't want anybody in the audience to forget that, because it's going to take 30 legislative days, which I believe is going to come around mid to late June 24th or so, when he can exercise what's called a discharge petition. And Thomas and Mike know that I've been talking about this for a long time, which means it brings it out of committee in its original form. And that's going to
Which one was this from,
Arrow.
Tim? What was the basic subject of this one?
It would defund Arrow.
Oh,
and
God,
put
yeah.
everything into the hands of the Department of Defense, which Pete Hegseth runs, which is the same party as Burchett and everything else. So I want everybody
Right,
to
but
just
don't
kinda
forget you. But Arrow is the, child of Kiki Gillibrand, Kristen, and she loves Arrow for what they've been bringing forward, and she supports what they've been happening, and she just sounds like she's kind of bitten in. So if we have this momentum on the side of the House, we're going to need an equivalent movement in the Senate. Otherwise, it's fucked.
That's exactly right, Thomas. But at least if we can get the House to have the discharge petition, I think that's what Burchett's going for. I think that's why we've seen him come out of the shadows recently. So keep an eye on that. June 24th is my particular date that I think he's going to file that. And if I'm wrong, I'll eat crow. But I think that is what he's aiming for. So it'll be interesting.
Okay. Do you have any? Talking about being interesting, a little quote from Burchett and Grush in July 26, 2023. Let's put our focus on this one for a second, folks. Here we go.
Do you have any personal knowledge of people who have been harmed or injured in efforts to cover up or conceal these extraterrestrial technology?
Yes. Personally.
Have anyone been murdered that you would that you know of or have heard of, I guess?
I have to be careful asking that question. I directed people with that knowledge to the appropriate authorities.
Maybe in a if we could get in a confidential area of SCIF, we could talk about that. But unfortunately, we were denied access to the SCIF, and that's very unfortunate in this scenario. Do you have any personal?
What a fucking cover-up.
Knowledge of people who have been harmed or injured in efforts to cover up or conceal these extraterrestrial technology?
Yes. Personally.
Daryl, your thoughts?
I don't know why, but I've always had a problem with his answer, because he said, I have to be careful asking that question. He's answering the question. He's not asking the question.
Personally.
Have anyone been murdered that you would that you know of or have heard of, I guess?
I have to be careful asking that question.
You see what I'm saying? It's like ever since he said, I'm like, what?
God damn it.
When he first said that live, I'm like, well, you're not asking the question. I don't really understand. It's kind of weird. I'm sure he meant answering. I'm
the same shit we deal with. All right, so we've got, I know we're late. We're going on. Oversight Committee and now investigating missing scientists. Odds are slim that it's a coincidence. Matt Laszlo talks with Comer. Let's see what he has to say. This is a minute and 28 seconds. I think the first 30 seconds is generally intro.
There's nothing the Democrats, I mean, the FBI, we want to get them.
No, it's not. Usually there's a 30-second intro and outro. Let's play this, folks. Here we go.
Are you thinking about holding hearings into the missing scientists, the 11?
Well, we want to get the information first and go from there. I don't want to create a big spectacle if there's nothing there. But no one's investigated this. I mean, the FBI just has become aware of it in the last week.
Yeah. Would you want the whole committee to handle this, not the?
Yeah, no, I think it's bipartisan. I think the Democrats are concerned too. Yeah. Nobody knows, and again, it could be a coincidence, but I think the odds are slim that it is a coincidence.
You think make it the entire oversight committee, not just the task force?
No, it'd be the whole oversight committee. But we got to see what I'm not convinced these agencies have anything.
Yeah.
Because I'm not convinced some of these agencies, they said they've been investigated. I'm not sure I believe that.
Yeah.
If the FBI just was made aware of it in the last 7 days, I don't think the Department of Energy has been investigating anything, or NASA, and they don't even have personnel to do that.
I was just talking to a senior member of Intel, and they were like, I was like, hey, do you know this missing general? And they were like, I'm going through a list of everyone I know and calling them to make sure they're okay. That's pretty ominous.
I know. And the fact that nobody in these agencies knew about had put it together.
Yeah.
Coming out.
Curious.
Yeah. No one's put it together except the UAP community. Kyle, your hands up.
It'd be nice to see a guy that can issue subpoenas take interest.
Yeah. Oh, but oh my God.
Old Comer can do it.
Yeah.
Thomas, when was that interview that he just did there?
Was
that today?
Today, 4/23/26.
That's a big deal. That's
yesterday. But there's another one.
Well, okay. So Tim Burchett said that even the chairman wanted to sit in on the SCIF after everybody said something was up with whatever it was there. He said people have been in and out of SCIFs in Congress all week long to view whatever it is that he saw. So I'm just wondering maybe if Comer came in there today, and I'm wondering if he caught him before or after this.
Yeah, there was a lot of press activity on that. That's something's going on.
Imagine you see this in your neighborhood. What do you do? If you live in that part of the country, if you don't have a bunker to go ahead and escape into, what the fuck are you doing? Right, Daryl?
Go in the opposite direction of that with my dog.
Yeah, you need to have your freaking bunker that you can get into. Your root cellar, whatever you want to call it, the Grand would have with all of our mash and everything. That's what you need. If you live in an area where tornadoes are, why do you live in a wood-based house above ground?
Because it's cheap and you're betting on the come. Betting, that's a craps term.
I know. MES Gregja, we've covered that.
I have no idea.
I know. All right, here we go. Is this brain tissue? Is this the nervous system?
Trip.
No.
That's a DMT trip right there.
It's our universe.
Yeah. What?
That's our universe, my friend. Galaxy clusters form superclusters, in turn, under the influence of dark matter, as they call it, form filaments and networks in this large-scale structure of the universe. This is not like a mushroom context or a brain or anything else. This is the universe that we live in, Daryl. It's a repeat of...
interconnected. It's neurons. I mean, it's like neurons in your brain. I mean, I'm sure Laura probably can attest to some of this. I mean, I would assume just because the brain's such a fascinating thing and all these passageways of thought and so forth. I mean, it's just
it's fractals.
It looks like a communication system.
Yeah. But what we're dealing with in our understanding of the universe mimics what we see inside of our brains. But then again, we have Pan-STARRS comet. It's out there. And they are shutting down the SOHO satellite's view of what this comet is doing in our solar system to us. That whole trail of what's going on in the next day or two, we will see the effects on Earth because it's passing between us and the sun. And as it passes between us and the sun and it goes on, that tail is going to be coming towards Earth.
Wait, just to make sure I get that right. I got that right. You're us.
Yes. We got Pan-STARRS. We've got the comet, and I'm in between. And it's going to be coming and hitting us head on, right? Because we got the sun, we got Pan-STARRS, and when it goes between us and the sun, all the material that's coming off of the back of this comet is going to be coming and heading towards our planet.
Oh, cool. So
Yeah.
we'll expect a lot more fireballs, meteors, etc.
Or things we just haven't realized yet.
What do you mean? Like the sperm of some dinosaur from Mars or something? Or what
No, just different astronomical effects that humanity has not recorded before. Or if we have, it's in a prior cycle of the planet.
Where it wasn't recorded. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Happened even before
that happened.
Yeah, it can happen. But wait a minute. You know, we used to have Tucker Carlson and Hannity, and then we'd have Laura Ingraham, who we called Trinity. It looks like a train. I'm sorry.
Who would cover national security?
Trinity. Oh, national security. Thank you, my friend. You know what? Trinity has an episode to go ahead and talk about these scientists who have gone missing. So let's listen to Laura Ingraham, aka Trinity, because she looks like a tranny on a good day. Let's go ahead. She does. My God. Just ask the gays.
I can't watch her.
Oh, neither can I. She's horrible. But you know what? We gotta love her anyway.
Bursting into flames, but it's what happened even before that that's raising more red flags. LeBlanc reportedly didn't show up to work that day. It was highly unusual. His car sat at the airport for 4 hours. That was the morning of his death, when he had no travel planned for the day. Also unusual. He didn't communicate with his family, and his phone and his wallet were left at home. And this brings us to the number 12. 12 scientists who disappeared or died in the last just few years, and who also worked on our nation's secrets. So is this all a strange coincidence, or is something else going on here? Missouri Congressman Eric Burlison is leading the charge for answers. Congressman, we don't know the status of the administration's investigation of these matters. We should have answers soon. What should Americans be thinking tonight? Coincidence or nefarious?
Ozempic works.
It is really suspicious, Laura. I mean, we have
it does.
A growing list of brilliant Americans who are working on breakthrough technology that was all critical to our nation, to our national security efforts. And at the end of the day, this nation is weaker because of the loss of these individuals.
Cheers.
So it's a national security threat.
God damn. There you go again, Daryl.
Absolutely. And it just
everyone's
something that begs the question, what is going on here? Is there a connection between these mysterious deaths or missing persons? To me, the string of people that have left their homes without their car keys, without their phones, and left everything behind.
But there was another one, Daryl, who left everything behind but brought his handgun with him.
Yeah. Like I said, CIA can come up with the darndest things.
Yeah.
Behind.
Brian, what say you?
No, I was just going to say, he if you're talking about McCaslin, he brought a 38.
No, but there's somebody else besides McCaslin who left everything behind except her handgun. No phones, no watches, no nothing. Take it all off. Leave your wallet behind and just take with your handgun.
Correct. There is a pattern here.
Yeah, it is. Here we go.
That in and of itself is strange. I mean, Laura, when was the last time you walked out or anywhere without your phone? I mean, most people don't go anywhere without their phone anymore, and yet we had a series of individuals who did and then never returned.
Well, I mean, with social media, with tracking people's internet presence, emails, texts, it would seem that there's a lot of information out there to be mined. And if there's a connection among any of these individuals, it wouldn't seem to be that difficult to find one, given the footprint that obviously is out there. And we're saying if, because we don't know.
Yeah, and hopefully the FBI...
I have to say, Daryl or Mike, she really seems bought into what's going on here.
Yeah, it's her job to do that.
But usually she's skeptical on a lot of fronts. I've watched Laura Ingraham for years. And usually she looks at something as a bit more skeptical, but what she's saying here, she's saying, yeah, there's something connected. There's something going on here because, you know what? There probably is.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I'm glad you can handle Laura Ingram. The only time Laura Ingram comes on in this house is when it accidentally turns on.
Daryl,
on Fox News, and she's there.
We had Fucker Carlson, filed by Trinity. We had Hannity next, followed by Trinity. The only reason we called her Trinity is because she looks like a tranny. Sorry, Laura.
Who's the woman who used to do all of the mystery stuff like once a week?
Oh my God. You're talking about the Queen.
Fran or Ollie? What was
Oh,
her
no.
name?
Hold on. I think I took
Nancy
a screen.
Grace.
Nancy fucking Grace. Holy
I saw
shit.
she came back and did like a hero episode.
No,
That's so
she's
funny.
got something out there. If I go to my on pictures, give me a second.
She was on Nancy Guthrie, and I'm like, I can't take one more pundit.
No,
on
Nancy Grace. Holy fuck. She is like, she's the equivalent. God, she was called Gracie Jane in Boston Legal. You sort by
a TV show.
What?
She was in a TV series? A fictional TV series?
Oh, here we go. I found her. They made a character of her. She was called Gracie Jane.
Is she still angry, or did she ever get laid?
But it was the equivalent of Nancy Grace. And this is a screenshot of something I just got into. I was going to send to Mike. Tonight at 11, scientists missing, dead in recent days. And it was like, I saw that and it's just like, oh my God, this has really gone global. Because if we have Nancy, but it's not just Nancy Grace. She's got the black see-through fucking...
Dude, is that her?
That's her.
Did she play herself in a TV series?
No, that's Nancy Grace, the Nancy Grace.
Oh, have you seen any movie? There's been some movies where there's been people that have impersonated her.
No, but okay. So if I go and let's go to here, GRACIEJNE. They had a character in Boston Legal that was Gracie Jane, who was equivalent to her back in the day when she was on, and that was someone that William Shatner slept with. But yeah, that's yeah.
90-year-old William Shatner. How old is he now? 90? 100?
90 at least.
94, going to be 95.
What? How old was he when he went up in the spaceship? He was 90?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's where Gracie Jane came from. Wherever that window went, there she is. Mike, that is the site that fucking, you know what? She competes, honestly, with Susan Goff.
Oh.
But she wins. If you take the two, who wins? Gracie Jane?
Oh, nobody wins.
Nancy Grace or Susan Goff? Mike, where would you put the two? You have one or the other?
Neither. I would become celibate real fast.
You become an incel, involuntary celibate.
No.
One is saying, welcome to hell, here's your torture. I'm just not sure which one is saying which.
I would become voluntarily celibate at that point, Thomas.
Oh my God, where have we gone?
Oh, this is real life.
Yeah. We're serious about not being serious.
On that note, my God.
Hell of a show. Great conversation tonight.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I want to go ahead and thank everybody for this wonderful time we've had this evening. Holy cow. What a great show. We've gone on, Mike, for 3 hours. But you know what?
Yes, sir.
6,000 views. It was worth it.
It was.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Conversation. Great audience. It was a good Friday.
And we have so many things we haven't covered today.
We'll cover
in the recap tomorrow, in addition to everything we covered today. Wow.
Yeah.
2 p.m. Pacific, my friends. We're going to have a great time. And if you haven't subscribed, what the hell are you waiting for? I'd really appreciate it, seriously. Coming from my heart here, wherever it is, somewhere in here. Apparently it goes in different places. But you know what? I would really appreciate it. Nancy, Susan would appreciate giving us a subscription. We love you, my friends. Right, Mike?
Absolutely. And we give you a money back guarantee.
Son of a bitch, with a deal, a double deal like this, what could go wrong?
You got nothing to lose.
Welcome to hell. Here's your torture.
Oh my God, this is wonderful. You know what? I just have to go ahead and say, turn that off. Make sure that's off. That on. Anyway, as we usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure tonight, eyes open, no fear, be safe, everybody. But
go back to Party City where you belong.
Absolutely. We're catching the flip side, and they will find you a Party City if you go there, even though they'll shut down. See you tomorrow, everybody. 2 p.m. Pacific. Love you. Take care. Bye-bye.